College football catapulting themselves to 6th in the nation. Led by junior quarterback David Klingler, Houston stands ready to make a run at the national title. On the other hand, the 1990 Arkansas Razorbacks have hit hard times. Playing in its next to last Southwest Conference regular season, Arkansas is off to its worst start since 1958. Today, the Cougars try to extend their winning streak to 11 games here on Prime Network. Live from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, Prime Network presents the Southwest Conference Game of the Week. Today, the number 6 Houston Cougars host the Razorbacks from the University of Arkansas. Hello again, everyone. I'm Greg Lucas, along with Ed Biles, set to bring you this battle today between two teams of the Southwest Conference, perhaps going in opposite directions. Houston comes in unbeaten. Arkansas has had a tough year at 2-4. One thing's for sure, though, Ed Biles, we're going to see some outstanding individual play. Let's start with the quarterbacks. David Klingler of the University of Houston.
Well, Klingler's a fine quarterback. I watched Jim Kelly with the Gamblers. I also watched Andre Ware. I think at this stage of his career, he's farther along. You can take a look at his stats last week. NC2A record for completion, attempts, 461 yards. He's throwing, 5 touchdown passes most of the ball game. Outstanding talent.
Well, like his predecessor last year, Andre Ware, he may have the statistical edge in the Southwest Conference again when it's all over, but perhaps no quarterback has been better over a 4-year stretch than Arkansas's Quinn Grovey, and he's having a good senior year.
Well, he really is. Different type quarterback. He's apt to run the ball much more. You have to contain Grovey. He can scramble. He holds the rushing yardage record for all Arkansas's quarterbacks in the history of the game.
He has been able to show that he can also lead this team. A lot of the play calling and the selection at the line of scrimmage is certainly his. His coach, Jack Crow, has a lot of confidence in him. Now, keys to winning today. Last year was 45-39. Arkansas winning its 8th straight against Houston. What are going to be the keys for the two teams, Ed?
Well, from Houston's standpoint, defensive, they've got to contain Grovey. They can't let him get outside, run around, and give him some problems that way. They have to minimize Russell's effectiveness. A fine receiver. He's a great receiver. They got to keep him pretty well under control. On the other hand, Arkansas, they have to control the ball. Time of possession is very important to them. They have been not forcing turnovers most of your defensive. They need to get some interceptions and make some fumbles happen this ball game.
There are a lot of folks who think that because of the defensive situation, this could be as high scoring as last year. Well, we'll all find out shortly. You stay with us. We'll have the kickoff and all the action from the Astrodome coming up next on Prime Network. Today's Southwest Conference football game is being brought to you by Sharp Electronics Corporation. From Sharp Minds comes Sharp Products. By Busch Beer, the beer that goes down smooth as a mountain stream. Head for the mountains of Busch. And by Rosarita. For great Mexican meals, remember, it all begins with Rosarita refried beans. Kickoff. Let's take a look at our officials from the Southwest Conference for the game today. The referee will be Lloyd Dale, Joe Darden the umpire. The rest of the crew includes James Wilson, Warren Pfeiffer, John Bible, Mike Wetzel, and Larry Weeks. Arkansas will receive the kickoff. Jack Crow, the head coach of Arkansas, in his first year as a head coach, but he's had a great deal of experience with several top programs, including Clemson and Arkansas and Auburn as an assistant. Last year's offensive coordinator, off to a 2-4 year as the head coach. John Jenkins, also in his rookie year as a head coach, has not tasted defeat yet after 6 consecutive victories. He was advanced from offensive coordinator and continues to wear both hats. Kicking off for Houston will be Roman Anderson. And the deep man, number 9, Caldwell, at about the 5-yard line. And the kick will come down short and then go through into the end zone. There'll be no return. It'll come out to the 20 where Arkansas will put the ball in play. The Arkansas Razorbacks 0-3 in conference play. This is only their 3rd road game of the year. Quinn Grovey, the quarterback, and we talked about him on the open. What a year he's had. What a career. 12 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, 67 of 123. Pass efficiency right up there in the national leaders at number 2, and he is passing the ball much better. The problem for Arkansas is they just aren't running it quite as well as they've done in the past.
Well, they come out with a passing formation. They've run a quarterback draw from this formation a lot of times.
E.D. Jackson is the lone running back. And the pitch to Jackson. And he cuts inside for about 2.5 to 3 yards after a short pickup. Jason Youngblood, the defensive tackle, with the stop. Arkansas backs and receivers. The regulars are E.D. Jackson, Ron Dickerson, Tracy Caldwell, wideouts Derek Russell, and the tight end Lindy Lindsay.
Boy, Russell caught 29, 7 touchdown passes. He's an outstanding receiver.
The line, Sean Flores, Todd Gifford, Eric Castillo, Mark Henry, and Patrick Crocker.
Well, Gifford is 6'4", 285-pound senior, 3 letters.
Gain of about 3 on the first play. It'll be second down. I formation now. Jackson is in the fullback spot. Fake, keep by Grovey, and he is brought down after a gain of a couple of yards. Linebacker Ryan McCoy tripped him up. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Defensively for the Houston Cougars, the front line. This is a young defense. Tyler Muko, Trey Hooper, who is not young, Steve Mateka, and James Bevel.
Well, Hooper's big, 280-pound senior. He's also shot putter in a track team.
The linebackers, Eric Blunt, Ryan McCoy, and Reggie Burnett, the veteran.
Boy, Burnett's a good one. 6'3", 240. Already has 11 sacks this year.
And the defensive backfield, John Brown, Daniel Johnson, Kenny Perry, and Jerry Parks.
Jerry Parks responsible for covering the Russell today.
He's the transfer from Oklahoma. It will be 3rd down and 5. Grovey's first pass attempt. Nowhere to go. Throws it away. It's intercepted by Houston. And moving the ball all the way down is Jerry Parks for the touchdown. Jerry Parks. Got to give credit on that to the pass rush, because Grovey really threw that one away, and he thought he was throwing it away, but he didn't.
Well, that's exactly what happened. There's a misread there between Grovey and Russell. Russell, when he saw what was happening, turned off and went deep. Grovey threw the ball up for grabs.
Roman Anderson has hit 76 in a row. We'll try another extra point. He's got it, and just like that, the Houston Cougar defense makes the difference, and it's 13:35 to play in the first quarter. Houston leads at 7-0. Let's look at the play again.
Well, he goes back now. The key to this is the pressure, and what's happening out to the right here, Russell wanted to run an out pattern, a sideline pattern for the first down. Now when the protection breaks down, Russell turns and goes deep, which he normally thinks he might come back to the ball. Grovey throws it up for grabs, and of course Jerry Parks is way underneath. 26-yard return into the end zone for a touchdown. That's certainly not what Arkansas had in mind to start this football game.
It really looked like he was hoping to throw it out of bounds. The way he threw it, he just heaved it. But he didn't get it far enough.
I think he anticipated Russell coming back to the ball. See Russell running away from the ball there instead of coming back to the football. Usually on a scramble play, your receiver will come back to catch the ball.
Well, Jerry Parks, no sooner did we get his name out of our mouth going through the lineups, as you see Grovey saying, uh-oh. Got to give some credit on the pressure to Daniel Johnson, the strong safety. He came up and was jumping and leaping right in Grovey's eyes, and Grovey not happy.
Well, you can see by Quinn's reaction. He knows the position he's put himself in. Now, Jerry Parks is a fine. He was a safety. They moved him to the cornerback last week's ball game. Top prospect coming out of Willow Ridge High School in Missouri City. He's a transfer from Oklahoma. That's his 3rd interception of the year.
Anderson, after the extra point, continues to tack on to his career record there. And a nice strong kick. Caldwell at the 2. This is a burner. Caldwell at the 10. Nowhere to go as he's buried right at the 10-yard line by Preston Bailey.
Well, Greg, it looks like Houston Cougars have come out here with a fired-up attitude. They covered that kickoff return. That special team just sprinted down the field there. You couldn't have better cover people than the job they did on that.
The Cougars cannot win the official Southwest Conference Championship. They're on the 3rd year of a probation, but they, of course, could be unofficial champs with the best record. That's one of their goals. E.D. Jackson, Lindsey, Botkin, Russell. 3 wideouts, 1 running back. 3 wides to the left side. Long count by Grovey. Now tight end in motion. Actually, a flanker leads the blocking to Jackson, and Jackson is stacked up as he gets to about the 12-yard line by Jason Youngblood, the Refugio sophomore. Mason got into the starting lineup. He'd been a starter and a backup, but makes a good play here.
Well, you can see him just turn around, toss the ball. That's their 28 toss. They take the ball, pitch it to him, pull the tackle around, trying to get the lead block. Well, look at the red jerseys. You can see the great job of pursuing that the Houston Cougars did on that play.
2nd down and 8. Back to the I formation. Grovey rolling. Turning the corner and getting close to the first down. He may have it as he's knocked out of bounds by Daniel Johnson.
Well, that's one of the keys that we talked about, Greg, the fact that they cannot allow Grovey to get outside. He broke containment that time, and when he gets out there, he is really dangerous. Looks like he picked up enough for the first down. Take a look at it now. Watch once he gets outside the end. He rolls out now, makes a little bit of fake right there. Now he's going to roll out to his left. And watch the lead block by Jackson. Jackson does a good job getting the lead block on the outside man. Now he breaks containment. That's when you turn the play into a long gainer and a first down for Arkansas.
Out to the 20-yard line. First down of the ball game for the Razorbacks. A big dump of the running back Price, Kerwin Price, knocked over by John W. Brown, coming up from his cornerback spot.
Boy, that's an excellent play by a cornerback filling up there. Now, Brown's a freshman. Watch the job he does of forcing the play. Comes up, see him going to the outside. Price right there. Look him get up underneath the blocker, and makes a tackle. Wow, tremendous play for freshman John Brown out of Amarillo, Texas.
Gain of a yard, making it 2nd and 9. Kerwin Price, the ball carrier from East St. Louis, Illinois. Grovey looks and hits his man Caldwell. Caldwell gets another first down across the 30-yard line to about the 34. Jerry Parks with the tackle. Now, the big receiver is Derek Russell with 29, but Tracy Caldwell is dangerous. He's caught 12, and he's got tremendous speed.
Well, the Cougars are playing a zone coverage in this, and Parks just backed off, giving him plenty of room, looking for some underneath help. There wasn't any underneath help. Now he does the smart thing, comes up and just makes sure he makes a sure tackle so Caldwell can't turn it into a long gainer.
The freshman from Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
He's had a good season. He's got 12 passes, 3 touchdowns already this year.
First down at the 34. Russell wide to the top of the screen. Now the flanker, is actually a tight end, is in motion. There's a flag on the play to pitch back to Jackson. He gets about 6 yards, but there was a flag. And Kenny Perry making the stop. We'll see what the flag was all about. 2 flags, actually, one on either side of the line area.
Well, I don't know whether they had enough people on scrimmage. Might be one play against the offense. I have a feeling one of those penalties against the offense.
That could be it. Procedure. That would be not enough on the line of scrimmage. That would be one of the calls. They had Botkin, who is a tight end, but they actually had him in the slot, and they had him in motion. That was it.
Yeah, the illegal formation. It had 7 men up on the line of scrimmage. The tight end was back off the line of scrimmage. And one thing that happened on that play, though, when they got to the corner, they turned and ran north and south. That was good execution on that option play.
1st and 15. Demetrius Smith is now wide to the near side. 2 wide out to the top of the screen in the I formation.
Now he's audible in this play.
Underthrown. It was intended for Caldwell. He had pretty good coverage there by Daniel Johnson, but it'll be an incomplete pass.
And he called that play at the line of scrimmage. When he got up there and looked around, saw the coverage that the Cougars were in, changed the play, thought he could get that little quick pass out there into the flat to Caldwell, but he underthrew the ball.
So that makes it a 2nd and 15. 7-0. Houston leading it on a pass interception and run back by Jerry Parks.
Out of the side formation now, they'll run the sprint draw, they'll run the toss, and also a lot of veer option.
Long call at the line for Grovey. Give to Jackson, and Jackson gets about 3. He gets up across the 30 down to about the 32. Eric Blunt and Trey Hooper teaming on the tackle.
Well, that was an option play that they ran to the inside. He gave it to the fullback that time, and I think he probably felt like, well, 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15, the Cougars might be rushing upfield. He thought maybe he could slide him underneath there for a big gainer. Now the Cougars are putting their nickel defensive folks in, taking some of those linebackers out. McCoy and Blunt putting defensive backs in.
It's 3rd down and 12. He's going to air it out. He's got Caldwell, and it's off his fingertips, incomplete. He would have had that and a lot more. Jerry Parks was beaten, but the pass was just a little bit too much for Caldwell. 4th down.
It almost appeared like Jerry Parks felt he had coverage behind me. And watch Caldwell. Going to go down, break to the outside. Now he's going to turn it upfield. Parks just kind of settled like he felt he had someone helping him behind. A lot of times you think a cornerback makes a mistake, and maybe one of the safeties wasn't over there giving him the backup help.
Glenn Ray Hines will do the kicking. First punt, and he just barely gets it away. He is hit. There will be a flag.
The flag wasn't for roughing the kicker, Greg. The flag was at the line of scrimmage, probably for Arkansas having something happen on line of scrimmage. The referee took a good look at that. He wasn't touched.
That's right. There was a marker back where the punt, but that is not a flag. That is a white marker, and we'll find out what the call is.
Yeah, the umpire made this call. The referee didn't call it on roughing the kicker. The flag came from the umpire's position, but it certainly wasn't roughing the kicker.
Yeah, it's against Arkansas anyway. So that'll get declined, I'm sure, and Houston will take it right where they've got it. They could make them punt it again, but they are going to make. Yeah, that'd be 15, wouldn't it?
This is a tough decision. It's a 15-yard penalty.
They're bringing it back.
Although you've got the ball on your own 43-yard line, which is pretty good field position. I think when they think it over, they'll take the ball.
Well, wait a minute. They changed it. Now they marked it against Houston. Maybe they pointed the wrong way, so the ball's coming back for that purpose. And if it's a personal foul, they're going to get the ball and keep it, and first down. I originally marked it off the other way. Let's listen if we can. Yep. All right. He just originally the preliminary call was incorrect, and
but watch this now. They don't touch the kicker. He puts a good show on. Boom. Nobody's around him. He's not touched. See him go down there. He wasn't touched. Not one of those players. They didn't call roughing the kicker. That was a good call by the referee, not calling roughing the kicker. But the umpire spotted something in the end line play that gives Arkansas a big first down.
And that was a big play for Arkansas after the close miss on the pass.
That's the same as a turnover for your football team. You have the ball, but now you give it back to him because of the penalty.
Grovey has double wide threat to the top of the screen, and again the tight end who'd been in the slot is in motion. He is not really the tight end, thus the pitch back to Jackson, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage as he tried to go left by Ryan McCoy and buddies. John Brown brought himself in from the defensive back slot.
Well, Arkansas is trying to break their tendencies. From the one back offense, they've been doing a lot of passing. Now this ball game, they're coming out running some option plays, figuring that maybe Houston would be playing the passing game. They ran that option into the short sideline. Houston covered it and reacted very well to the play.
Ryan McCoy was a tight end in high school at Beaumont Central, is having a good year. He's number 2 on this club in tackles with 58. A couple of interceptions.
On that punt play, Greg, one of the UH players threw apparently a forearm at the offensive lineman.
Can't do that. Now Arkansas calls timeout. We'll take a timeout. 9:48 to go in the first quarter. It's Houston 7, Arkansas nothing. You're watching the Southwest Conference Game of the Week on Prime Network. Saw 7-0 with 9:48 to go in the first quarter of play. Here are the Associated Press rankings. Virginia on top, Houston 6, Texas and TCU also in the Southwest Conference rank. Next week, many of the stations along the affiliates along the Prime Network line will get to see by delay the TCU Houston game. Couple of top 20 teams. There's a give inside top 25 teams. Jackson finds no running room. Trey Hooper and Youngblood teaming up on the tackle. This has been a problem for Arkansas. They have not been able to find their running game this year, Ed. And of course, in past years, that was what they were noted for, the running game.
That's exactly right. You just don't keep the Arkansas offensive line, and it's a pretty veteran offensive line, just not doing a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage. Incidentally, that's 6th rating for Houston. That's not the highest they've ever been ranked, Greg. Some people might think it is, but they were ranked number 2 in the country a few years ago when Bill Yeoman upset and beat Michigan State when they were running the beer attack.
It's a big third down conversion. It's 3rd and about 8. 2 yards away from midfield. Caldwell in motion. Grovey on the pitch. And Aaron Jackson has it as he runs out of bounds on the far side of the field. John Brown was the closest near him. It is a first down inside Houston Cougar territory. Jackson, 362 yards, has been the top rusher for the club.
Well, you can see Grovey go down the line of scrimmage, makes a nice pitch there with the left hand, gives it to Jackson. Now the contained people, the wide receivers of that side, had run downfield. They had to go off with him. A little late reacted to get back up to make the play once the pitch was made.
Denison, Texas. He started last year at safety. In fact, he started last year at safety. Had to come back to the running back slot. First down, Grovey. Got time this time. Finds Russell for a short gain. Out of bounds right around the 30. Pickup of, well, perhaps 7 or 8. Not bad. That's a pretty good first down play. Second down, and they're going to say 8. Second down and 2.
A simple rollout. He just rolls out. He's looking for Russell all the way. Russell goes down, breaks to the outside, gets 1 foot in bounds. He had a foot down before he stepped out of bounds there. Completion, and that's what they like to do with Russell. Pitch and catch, simple where he can roll out. That's why his efficiency rating is so high.
Difference with Russell this year, 29 receptions, now 30. Last year he caught 17. They're throwing a lot more. E.D. Jackson, and Jackson struggles forward for the first down to about the 27-yard line. Tyler Muko and Steve Mateka teaming on the stop. Well, so far, that big penalty against Houston is hurting because Arkansas is moving the ball now.
You know, we're down now with 8:44 to go in the first quarter, and the Houston offense has not been on the field so far in this ballgame.
Klingler's got to warm up. Absolutely. They do have the lead, though, thanks to a pass interception and return by Jerry Parks. 7-0 Houston.
That's one way to keep your stats down, though.
Eight minutes and 39 and ticking in the first quarter. This will be a first down play. The ball is at the 27-yard line. That's Caldwell in motion. Jackson right up the middle. This time he gets some running room and has another first down, it appears. Reggie Burnett. They've tried going up the middle for a while. This time the quick opener works.
That's a big freshman there, 6'5", 275, Chris Oliver. What's the offensive line now? See him double Tim on the nose block. Number 72 gets off. Flores does a good job of getting onto the linebacker. That's what opened up the hole for him to pick up 9 yards on that play. Now that's what Arkansas likes to do. Run that option, control the inside, then come with the outside.
2nd and 1. And it appears he has it, but it's close. That was Trey Hooper stacking him up right at the line of scrimmage, Jackson, but it appeared he had enough. Meanwhile, Klingler trying to keep that right arm warm. It's been a few minutes since he loosened up.
Yeah, it really has. Really an intelligent quarterback. I spent some time with him Wednesday over at their practice session talking with him. He really has an excellent outlook towards the game and his preparation.
First down it is, and the ball is at the 16. Jackson, the lone running back, he takes the pitch. Cuts inside off tackle down to about the 11-yard line where Ryan McCoy makes the stop. Now this is reminiscent to Houston fans of the start of their game against Texas A&M. They did not score first, but A&M ran the ball on them, and they took an early 17-0 lead.
Well, of course, you can see E.D. Jackson. This is just a toss play. They turn and toss it to him, and he gets in trouble. He reaches forward and picks up a lot of extra yardage on that. So far, that's his 9th carry for 29 yards.
2nd down and about 5. Jackson trips and falls, tried to make a cut outside, and actually Trey Hooper sort of got in the way, and that's what caused him to lose his balance and not gain any yardage.
Well, the big thing that's happened so far on this drive, Greg, is that Arkansas has had the ability on first down to pick up big plays. 7 yards, 9 yards. They picked up 5 on this play. Puts you in pretty good position, but they lost on 2nd down. Now here's a key call coming in from the sideline. You see Coach Crow calling this play himself.
He was the offensive coordinator last year, as John Jenkins still is, wearing both hats for Houston.
They got to get in and out of the huddle. The 25-second clock is already down. They have to use the timeout because the way it's slow is getting the play in.
And that's the 2nd timeout they've used already here in the first half. So Grovey will come on over and talk to Jack Crow, and he doesn't want to lose this scoring opportunity. We'll see what he does with it when we return with 6:05 to go in the first period. Houston 7, Arkansas nothing, but the Razorbacks threatening. The first half left, Arkansas having used 2 in the first period, but 2 keys on this drive. One that went against Arkansas was the pass that was just a little bit overthrown, but they got it back 2 plays later on the penalty against Houston in a punting situation. And since then, Arkansas has continued to move the ball down the field. Houston has not had the offense on the field yet. 3rd down and 6 from the 12.
Great call.
Sets up the tight end. He's got the touchdown. That was Kurt Botkin And he had a lot of blockers, and actually he's big enough. He didn't need a whole lot of blockers.
Boy, he's got a lot of fans in the stands here. He's a freshman from Baytown Lee, right outside of Houston, Texas, and that's his second touchdown of the league. But they did a great job setting up that screen to the tight end. What a great call this was for the Arkansas coaching staff standpoint. He rolls out to his left. Now he comes back with the screen to the right. You can see the lineman out there. There's a great kick-out block by number 75, Chris Oliver. They split the people and took it into the end zone.
Botkin's 8th catch of the year, his 2nd touchdown. And now Arkansas with a chance to tie. The kick is up, and they do it. As Todd Wright is now 16 of 16 on extra points this season, and this ball game is tied. Houston's offense is going to be on the field for the first time with less than 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Well, you might as well say, Greg, 2 turnovers gave both teams their touchdowns. First time Arkansas had the ball, they threw an interception, and Parks took it for a touchdown. Then Houston on a 4th down, Ruffin gives him the ball back. Here's a replay. Look at him going out to his left, sets it up great. Now you can see the lineman sliding out there. There's Botkin. He just lobbed. He wanted to make sure he got it to him. He realized how wide open the play was. Watch the kick-out block by Oliver right there. Another good block downfield. That was probably by one of the guards, either Gifford or Henry getting that kick out. Or maybe Pittner might have been in it, but one of those guards got a block back to the inside. He just split those two, went in for the touchdown.
Let's see. I don't know.
That's got to be 65. Henry coming out, the right guard and right tackle. Henry does a great job of getting it. There he is right there. There he turns back to the inside, makes that block. And Oliver, of course, kicked out to the outside. He could have walked it into the end zone.
I couldn't tell that replay whether technically Botkin was in at tight end or off the line of scrimmage. They had 2 tight ends in the game, Lindsey and Botkin, and they've done that a lot. It's a minor point, but he gets it. There's a long drive.
Well, that's exactly what we talked about. 17 plays, 89 yards, and a lot of time off the clock.
Here's the kickoff, and that's going to go out of bounds. Penalty flag. And we will move it back. The Houston Cougars have had a couple of tough scrapes this year in their 6-0 with their 6-0 record. One was to Rice, in which Houston had to come back and hold on and take a 24-22 victory. And the other one was 2 weeks ago against Texas A&M, in which they trailed 17-0 before taking the ball down the field 90 yards plus on their final possession to win that one. They have not been winning by as large a margins as they did last year, yet they have avenged one of their defeats of last year. They had just 2. The other one was to Arkansas, and they are hoping to do that. Arkansas says no. That touchdown pass from Grovey was his 24th, so he has the school record now equaled 24. Joe Ferguson, former pro, long time with the Buffalo Bills. They'll run this one out, but they won't run it very far. That's Tracy Good as he's stopped inside the 15-yard line by McCaughey. And there's David Klingler coming out for the first time. David Klingler this year has thrown the ball 359 times, including 70 plus last week, 2,533 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 intercepted. He has thrown over 400 yards 4 times. He's had quite a year. His first year as a regular. He is a junior. He got some time last year, obviously, because the Cougars won so many games big that he got in, but rarely in a key situation, and he's certainly done the job here. One running back offense, all the receivers, shovel pass, Weatherspoon up to about the 18-yard line. Rolling on the tackle. Let's take a look at the backs and receivers. Weatherspoon, we saw, Hazard, Good, Cooper, and Grant.
Well, Weatherspoon, of course, is an All-American last year. Just has all kind of records. He squats 655 pounds. What leg strength he has.
The receivers, these are the wideouts. They all are not in at once because a couple of them are inside receivers, but you'll see a whole bunch of them. Alexander Brown, Williams, and Verlon Brown. We'll take a look at them in a moment with the line. Klingler, quick out pass completed, and that's a first down for Houston. Completed to Craig Alexander, the junior from Jacksonville. Let's take a look at the offensive line for the Cougars. They're big and strong. Truitt, Bowman, Jones, Geisler, and Jessup.
Well, Jessup, of course, was all Southwest Conference left tackle in '89. Now they got him moved over to the right tackle side.
This is a veteran team, too. Giesler is a junior, but all the rest are seniors. Klingler with a first down out, just touching the 30-yard line.
You can see him calling all the plays audible and the plays at the line of scrimmage, depending on the defensive look.
Picked up by Manny Hazard, but he has really nowhere to go. That was extremely short gain. Kirk Collins with the stop. Talk a little trash there. Let's go with Roland, Kelly, and Long, the defensive line for Arkansas.
There's Roland, 6'3", 265-pound senior out of Sherman, Texas.
Linebackers Ireland, Harris, Benson, and Nick Thomas.
Oh, he's a good junior, 6'2", 230-pounder, leads the team in tackles.
And the defensive backs will be working. In fact, they'll have some help today with extras. Collins, James, Floor, and Banks. Quickly the give to Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon bowls forward. He's short after about a 3-yard pickup. Darwin Ireland on the stop.
Now, so far in this series now, Arkansas appears to going to be playing a soft defense. They're only rushing 3 people. They're dropping 5 linebackers in underneath zones and 3 people deep. But look like they're going to take the philosophy that we are going to force you to earn whatever you get. We don't want to give you big plays. We're going to try to make you make some mistakes moving that football down the field.
As good as that average of 6.4 for Weatherspoon is, it's the lowest in his 3 years. That's the kind of year he's had. Quick pass complete. First down outside to number 81. That's Marcus Grant, the sophomore from Dallas Carter. And that's what the run and shoot can do. You can stop it for short gains on a couple of plays, and they break it and get the first down.
Well, again, he's working against his zone coverage, and he looks which side the linebacker has to drop the farthest. He knows right now he's got to come off and go to the left. You can see the backer trying to get out underneath. You can see number 16, who's an extra defensive player that they put in there to try to get out underneath it, and he can't get there because of the speed of the thing.
To show you how deep this Houston team is, that was the 25th reception for Grant. On the depth chart, he's listed at 3rd string wideout. A lot of time for Klinger. There's a flag, probably holding. The pass is completed to Hazard, but I bet it's coming back. It's all the way down to the 30-yard line, but the flag was thrown right in the line of scrimmage.
Well, one of the problems you have is you rush only 3, very difficult to get pressure. That allows the quarterback a lot of time to work and try to find someone open in the zones. I'm sure this play will come back, but this is the problem that the run and shoot presents to a team that likes to play the soft zone.
We'll see.
2 big calls by the umpire so far.
Well, maybe some indecision here.
Well, yeah, if it had been simple holding. Face mask.
Oh, he wasn't holding.
Well, that's 2. Take a look at the right-hand side of your screen here, number 67, Giesler. Watch Giesler right there. Giesler locks up. He locks up right now.
Apparently he's got him by the face.
Well, he must have had him by the face because that's where he's calling in there. The defensive player from Arkansas must have grabbed Giesler's face mask.
And the face mask is declined because they made more on the play. It's a first down for...
They're going to be all the way down about the 32-yard line. They'll take the play, so they're going to have the ball deep in Arkansas's territory, not where they're lining up. They all got to move about 10, 15 more yards. Now they finally decided to move.
Got it. It'll be at the 33, so you can chalk up that completion to Hazard. Houston's had it at minute 29, but they've already moved it from inside their 15 down to the Arkansas 34, and they're tied on the score.
You can see the way Arkansas is lining up. You can see how deep their secondary is already and how deep the linebackers and the 3-man rush. Just take a look at your screen. You can see the type of defense that Arkansas is playing.
Cooper at the 20-yard line. I'll tell you what, that's another first down, but that was another example of just how strong Klingler's arm is. He throws it on a line and gets it there.
Well, I think the thing that Klinger's also is going to be has proven so far in this ball game that he has the patience. He's not panicking. Watch his foot position when he gets to the third ball. Look him throw off that front foot, just like a baseball pitcher where he delivers the ball, gets it there in quickness. And, of course, to the fine group of receivers, Cooper, he's got 26 already this year.
Yeah, he's listed as 2nd string on the wideout spot. And we got a down Arkansas player. Let's see if we can catch who that is.
I don't know about 2nd string. He's already scored 7 touchdowns, Cooper.
Well, that's what I said before the game. There is no such thing as 2nd string. We'll take a break and be back with 4:15 to go in the first quarter. It's 7-7, Houston and Arkansas on Prime. Our timeout was caused because of this injury to number 3, Del Chun. He just kind of in the way, and everyone falls on him.
Well, he originally missed a tackle on the sideline there, and he was down. He was trying to get back up to get back into play, and sometimes he maybe hustled too much because now he got sidelined and hit by a bunch of his own players. He's going to have an awful sore knee. Let's just hope it's not a serious one.
First down for Houston. Klinger looks left, now center, up the middle. It is in and out of the hands, incomplete, intended for Craig Alexander, and he couldn't handle it. And it's an incomplete pass, right on target. It'll be second down and 10.
Boy, again, Klinger had great presence of mind. He stayed in that pocket, kept looking. And watch him keep looking around. And finally, look at how he led the pass in there. He realized he's going to bring Alexander way to the inside to avoid the folks. Alexander just took his eye off the football, looking for the end zone, maybe a step too soon. Take another look at now. Watch how he put the ball way. We're waiting for Alexander to get way to the inside. Just took his eye off at a fraction of a second too soon.
I don't know. It's conceivable that might have been deflected slightly by the linebacker dropping back in coverage. Ty Mason. Here's second down. Inside the 10-yard line, completed to John Brown III. There are two John Browns on the Cougar team. The third is the wideout. That was his 7th reception. Ken Benson was one of those that helped knock him out of bounds.
Boy, that John Brown, you better respect his speed. He's running 9.89, 100 meter.
He could be the fastest Cougar ever. That's ever. And there have been some speedy runners. And we're not talking about the track star Carl Lewis either. We're talking about football players.
He's 6'3", 200-pounder. And you're not talking about a little receiver.
No. It is a first and goal. The ball is...
This could be Spoon territory.
At about the 9. Intercepted, and that may go all the way. Kirk Collins. He stopped inside the 45-yard line. There wasn't anybody there but Kirk. Collins, the Lamarck, Texas junior. Boy, that would have been one that if he dropped, he could have just walked off the field. That was right in his shoulder pads.
Well, as he comes out, he throws the ball behind the receiver that he wants to get. There's no one open over here. Now watch you come back to the backside. Receiver's open for some reason. You see right there, the ball was thrown behind Hazard. He was trying to lead Hazard to the inside. Collins inherits this interception by sitting in his zone back there. And look at Klinger make a great play coming over to keep it from going for a touchdown. Interesting enough, both teams, the first time they've had their hands on the football, they've thrown interceptions. Arkansas, Parks took it in for a touchdown. Collins now gives Arkansas great field position on the Houston 41-yard line.
That's why the first interception of the year for Collins. Now it's up to the Cougar defense because the Arkansas Razorbacks had the momentum going their way. That's knocked away, incomplete. That was almost picked off by linebacker Eric Blood, who got a hand on it. Second down and 10. And wait a minute, we may have a roughing the passer penalty against Houston. Houston may be shooting themselves in the foot here with a couple of penalties. Certainly the first one hurt him, and this one isn't going to help him.
Well, this certainly would be a big 15-yarder. We put the ball deep down in their territory. That's what the call was, roughing the passer. Let's take a look at it now. He rolls out of the pocket, so he's out of the pocket. There's the ball. He's going up to throw the ball. Yeah, that was kind of a late little shove. I'd almost have to say if you're going to get a penalty, you better get one a little bit tougher than that.
That looks more like maybe a 5-yard penalty, not a roughing. But we'll see. It is first down. Ball is at about the 27-yard line. E.D. Jackson. The helmet's hit at about the 22, and it's Ryan McCoy and Kenny Perry leading the charge after a pickup of about 5. Second down.
Well, this is a good, hard-fought football game going on down there right now. And here we got to turn and make the toss. See the guard pulls, try to step around to get the lead block on Blunt. Blunt did a good job holding his area. Now look at McCoy coming right up through there and doing a good job. Well, he and Kenny Perry double up on the tackle.
Second down. We'll call it 6. At the 22. 7-7 score, first quarter. Botkin in motion. Naked roll right. Russell can't handle it. Good defensive coverage. Right with him was number 17, Jerry Parks, and that's his assignment.
That was excellent play by Jerry Parks. She's on a one-on-one situation with no help. And Russell almost had a fourth of the field to work with. They fake the rollout, fake the running play one way, and Groovy comes right out here to his right. There's no one back there to help Parks. Good job, pretty good job of containment by Burnett. Now watch him close on the ball right there. Timed it up pretty good. Would have been a great catch by Russell, but that's great defensive coverage by Parks also.
Arkansas 2 out of 4 on third downs here in the opening quarter. 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go in the quarter. Tied at 7. 3rd and 6. Reverse. Here's Russell. First down to the 15-yard line. Trey Hooper with the tackle, coming across from the nose tackle spot to pick up Russell on the reverse. Last year, he ran that 12 times and caught 17 passes. Hadn't been running it as much this year, but still effective.
Here it is. He fakes the option coming one way down the line. Now he's going to make a little simple toss, easy for Russell to handle. Now Russell does a good job of picking out a couple people there, realizes he needs what he needs. An excellent hustle by Hooper, defensive lineman, to get all the way out there to the right to make that tackle. Arkansas first down on the 15.
Just the third time that Russell has carried the ball from scrimmage this year compared to the 12 last year. But they've had a couple of big third down plays. One scoring a touchdown. Grovy's got a lot of room to run. Fumble in the end zone. It's recovered by Russell, but I think it was down at the 1. Let's see.
I don't know whether he may have
touchdown.
It's going to be a touchdown. I think what he did was mark the spot of the fumble. I don't think he called the play down. I think he marked the spot of the fumble and went into the end zone. Everybody thought that he was marking it down, but I think he was marking the spot of the fumble. We'll see what happened after the fumble.
Well, the official in the end zone called it a touchdown to Russell as he recovered it. Let's look at it again.
Here he comes down again. One of the things we talked about, you had to contain him. They do not lose containment on him. Now, right now, watch the point right now. There's the fumble before he is down. The ball goes in the end zone. The official was just marking the spot of the fumble, not saying that he was down. And recovered, of course, by Russell for the touchdown.
So Russell gets the touchdown. The Razorbacks on top. Wright's extra point kick is up. It is good. And we've still got 2 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the first quarter, and we've already had 21 points on the board. Arkansas with 14 and Houston with 7. Wow. 2:14 to play. Greg Lucas here along with Ed Biles, and Houston will have the football for the second time.
Well, again, one of the things we talked about was so important. They had to contain Grovey. They do not contain. Now you're in that no man's land. When he gets out here now where he can run, of course he can run. That's why he's the leading rusher in Arkansas's quarterback history. Makes an effort to get into the end zone. He made great effort to try to get in. Fumble the ball. Now, if Houston had recovered this ball, it would have been a touchback when we're out to the 20-yard line. Look how alert Russell was. He knew he had a touchdown. He just comes up off the pile and says, hey, I've got another touchdown, my 8th of my this season.
So Arkansas, some big third down plays, and then a little fortune on their side on that touchdown play, has taken a 14-7 lead. Each quarterback has thrown an interception. The one that Grovey threw led directly to a touchdown. The one that Klingler threw not only stopped a possible Houston touchdown, but set up the second drive that resulted in Arkansas's second score.
Well, the thing that's happening right now from Arkansas's standpoint, you can see the confidence growing in this football team. They started slow with that interception, went for a touchdown, but right now they're just oozing confidence over there. The fact that they've beaten Houston 8 times in a row, the fact they've won the last 4 times here in the Dome, all adds to that mystique.
Not a long history between these two. 11-5, the overall mark in favor of Arkansas. Pop-up kickoff. It's going to be taken short at about the 20-yard line. 25 up to the 30 and spun down there. That's number 31, Teandre Sanders, the backup running back. Good field position to start a drive. McCaughey with the stop.
Greg, that's exactly what that kickoff was designed to do. High, so your cover people can get down there and make a tackle. Don't let them have any kind of return or being afraid of Houston's speed in coming out of that end zone.
Well, the drive was a short one, but it was set up by the interception.
That's what 41 had to go, 41 yards, but they've had the ball this entire quarter. Houston's only had the ball 1 time. They've had it 3 times.
Houston drove the ball the 1 time they had it, but they got no points out of it. They are fortunate they're on the scoreboard thanks to the interception. Good with the reception, and Good picks up about 6 or 7 out on the right side. Curtis Banks knocked him off his feet. Curtis, a junior from Dallas Carter, playing for Arkansas.
Well, out there in Lubbock, Texas, Miami has gone ahead of Texas Tech 14-0 in the second quarter.
One of the other games going on, Florida State leading LSU 14-3 in the third. Georgia Tech 17, Duke 6 in the second. Tracy Good, 45 receptions coming into the game. That was his first. 8.7 per catch. He is one of the inside receivers. They will catch more than anyone else. As an example, that's Hazard, the other inside receiver, but he only gains about a yard.
Well, so far, Greg, this game is going exactly according to the game plan of Arkansas, with the exception of the interception they threw for a touchdown. They wanted to keep the ball in their own hands. They're playing a soft, very soft defense right now, only rushing 3 with 500. They're saying exactly what happened. We're going to let you move the ball between the 20s. We think you'll make a mistake somewhere along the line. Houston made a mistake when they got down to scoring territory with the interception that set them up for their second touchdown.
Well, isn't that the same theory you have really against a team in the days when the 3 yards in the cloud of dust? The farther they have to go, the more chances they're going to make a mistake if they're only getting 3 yards a carry. Here is Weatherspoon, and he picks up a couple. It'll be a gain of maybe 2, 3. Ty Mason with the stop.
And one of the things that's happened with Houston so far this year, their running game hasn't been nearly as effective. When you play that loose with only 3 linemen, they should be able to get Weatherspoon through there. She picked up some pretty good running yardage on first down. Right now, they're not having the opportunity to do that. They're just not doing it, not blocking it well enough.
All-purpose career leaders. He has the individual season mark that he set last year. He's still got some way to go. There's Hazard on the quick pop, and he's got another first down to the 44. Ben Floor with the tackle. We're nearing the end of the first quarter. 27 seconds. The clock stops while they move the chains. So there should be one more play, or perhaps, yes, there should be.
Well, he just went right straight down the field. And again, when you play the zone coverage, there are some seams in that zone, so to speak, that you can't cover. And if he keeps picking them like that and has the patience, they will put points on the board.
Daly City, California, in the San Francisco area. Manny Hazard, 18 seconds, 15. So they'll have to get one more play underway to end the period. And here it is, Klingler. Shovel pass. Incomplete. Now that's the safety part of the shovel pass. It's an incomplete pass if it drops to the turf. Chad Rowland with the tackle. 7 seconds as the clock stops.
Oh, but I'll tell you, they'd like to intercept with him too.
Well, that's the other thing about it, but it's anybody's ball when it's flying forward like that. He's going for all of it, and he doesn't get it. It's way out of bounds, and that should be the last play, or will be the last play of the first period. So we've got 1 quarter in the books. And the scoreboard reading, the Arkansas Razorbacks 14, the Houston Cougars 7. We'll be back with second quarter action next on Prime Network.
I'm Cy Sperling, president of Hair Club for Men. These
14-7 in the second quarter as we just get set for the first play. Time of possession has been lopsided. Arkansas holding on to the football and the lead. Houston now facing a 3rd down and 10 at the Arkansas 45. A misread there between Cooper and or Klingler, incomplete, and the Cougars will have to give it up.
Well, there very definitely was a misread. Cooper went on down in the end zone, and obviously Klingler thought he was going to stop and break it to the outside somewhere along the 20-yard line. And again now, Arkansas' strategy of making them make the mistake is paying off.
Houston's defense has not proven that it can stop Arkansas. The only time was the interception. They have not been able to stop the grinded out offense that Arkansas has used. A high punt now is going to go into the end zone. Nice attempt by Charles Langston.
Boy, he had 4.3 hang time on that ball before it ever hit down there. They just cover people, couldn't get down to keep it from going in the end zone.
We've got more live college football coming up for you tonight from Tucson when the Arizona Wildcats host the Washington State Cougars. So don't forget to tune in a half hour early to college football today as well to find out how your favorite college team did today. That's Pac-10 football tonight on Prime Network. Greg Lucas here along with Ed Biles. We're at the Houston Astrodome, which seats about 60,000 for football, and they were expecting a crowd of around 25,000 for this game, spaced out as they are. They makes it look a little less than that. It is first down for Arkansas on their own 20, leading 14-7. Edie Jackson, nothing, maybe a yard as he tries the left side, and Trey Hooper is in on the play. Cougars have defended most plays of that nature very well.
Yeah, they haven't had any success running inside tackle to tackle. They had their success running the ball outside. Of course, there's Tony Fitzpatrick, the defensive line coach of the Houston Cougars. He's going to try to run the inside here. They're trying to double up on the nose guard. You see the guard and the center doubling up on the nose guard. But now that's an excellent play in there by Hooper, who avoided that block and made the tackle.
Second down. Grovey on the keep. Gets across the 25-yard line. He'll still be short by about 6 or so. Trey Hooper, again, the first man to make contact, along with Eric Blunt.
And Ryan McCoy, I think, was also. Now, that's the kind of play they want Grovey to run, where he got to turn and get back in there with the big people, the linebackers and the big defensive linemen, get a shot at his body, so to speak, and kind of hopefully beat him up a little bit. That's what they're thinking in his defense here, so they can't be quite as effective in the fourth quarter of the football game.
Grovey passing 4 of 28, or 4 for 28, I should say, on the rushing, and it's third down. Line moves on the right side. That should be, against number 75, Chris Oliver, as he lifted up.
Well, Fayetteville, Arkansas, of course, he's a freshman redshirt. Big one, 6'5", 270-pounder.
He doesn't make many mistakes either. He's got a 4.0 in engineering after one semester.
Yeah, he kind of must have had a feeling that they was going to get some inside penetration, and good possibility they had a running play, an option type play, and he wanted to make sure they didn't get up in those gaps.
Arkansas 3 out of 5 on first downs, and they're still on that situation here.
Now you're back to the passing situation where it's going to be important to have containment on the quarterback.
3 out of 5 on thirds, and this is a long third now. 3rd and 9. He's going for all of them. Russell is out in front, but the ball was 5 yards too far. Now, that was a key last year. 2 times Russell caught long bombs from Grovey, as Grovey passed for 256 yards in the game last year. This year couldn't connect on this one, and Houston stops Arkansas for the first time. They'll have to kick.
Well, there's the defensive coordinator for Houston, Larry Coyer.
In to kick is Glenn Ray Hines out of Alieve Hastings High School in the Houston area. At the 42-yard line. And across midfield into Arkansas territory, and a flag thrown into the pile. On the return by Parks.
Well,
Darwin Ireland
looked like Houston was going to start off with good field position. I think there's going to be a face mask call at the end of this play against Arkansas, which will move Houston even closer. Well, let's see what they call.
Our referee is Lloyd Dale. Was a 5-yard face mask, so it will help Houston a little.
Let's see if we can pick it up here in on the tackle. Yeah, there he is running it. That's not it. There comes that hand right there. You can see the hand, the left hand wrapping around, just getting a part of the face mask. You can see his head spinning around a little bit. Official right on top of the play.
Man who getting credit for the tackle, Darwin Ireland, also the man that grabbed him. The penalty story. Arkansas haven't hurt him that much.
But the one big penalty there on 4th down gave Arkansas the opportunity to keep a drive going.
That was 7 points, really, in the football game. Klingler comes back across the way to Good, and Good is dropped at about the 35-yard line after a pickup of about 6. Shannon Wright, the middle linebacker, sophomore, making the stop. And Tracy Good with the catch. Good's a sophomore from Clute, Texas. He caught 32 last year, had a leg injury. This year came into the game, in this game, with 45 receptions. He and Manny Hazard, the inside receivers, that's 80 receptions between the two. Klinger already with 100 yards passing, and Witherspoon takes his way forward for the first down inside the 30.
All right, now that's what they should be able to do against that soft three-man line, because all you got to do is get a little block. Those linebackers are 5, 6, 7 yards deep, and now you should be able to pick up some good running room in there. You can see the trap. You see the guard pull across, make the trap play, and Spoon lowers his head, gets on downfield there. Mike Geisler came across on the trap block against the soft. That's one of the theories. Let's see whether Arkansas makes any adjustments. Right now they're coming up, looks like almost like a four-man line.
First down and a flag and a whistle. Both. Play stops. Flags thrown in. Geisler perhaps maybe jumped a little bit.
Probably some movement in there.
Or Geisler, I should say. Big Mike, 305 pounds.
Looks like it was Geisler. Let's see if he moves. There he goes. Too soon. He was going to come across. They run the same trap play. Doubling down on the nose guard. The center and the left guard was going to double the nose guard. They were going to try to kick out and get Witherspoon up through that hole where he get to those linebackers. They're playing 4 or 5 yards deep. Take a look again. Now you can see from the shot right there, there's only 3 defensive linemen. And see how soft the linebackers are playing. They are assuming they're not going to run the ball now.
First and 15. 3 wideouts left. He's looking right. Now left. In the middle, it's incomplete. It was overthrown. It was intended for, well, Floor was the man close. Smith was the intended receiver, but it was too high for him.
And now the Arkansas fans, don't be hollering out. You're not getting any pass rush. This is exactly what was going to have happen, because you got 5 linebackers dropping, or defensive backs, whatever they have in there, and 3 players playing deep. So consequently, Houston has 5 offensive linemen that can block those 3 rushers. The theory is make them make mistakes, and so far his work.
It's a second down and 15. Pass too tall for Cody Smith, who's only about 5'9". Klinger gets out of trouble. He's going to run for a little bit to the 22-yard line. Actually, that's a pretty good run, because now it's going to be third down and only about 4. Scott Long with the tackle.
Again, conversely, from Arkansas' secondary standpoint, remember, you got 5 and 3. 5 linebackers are secondary, and 3. That's 8. They're defending against 4. So a lot of times, it's a coverage situation. This is what you've been forcing Klinger to run because of the coverage downfield.
Klinger, that's the one area in which he does not match up with Andre Ware. Ware was a more compactly built and thus a little quicker runner. It is third down, 5. First down to Hazard as he's inside the 15 to the 12. Manny Hazard, who led the nation in receptions last year, brought down by Rich David from New Orleans, Holy Cross.
Now that's the screen you're seeing a lot of football teams put in. The run and shoot has brought this to football. The receiver comes to the inside, and he comes back in looking for the blocks of the offensive lineman. The old days screen people, linemen set up and move to the outside. Now the receiver comes back in there to pick up the blocks of those offensive linemen coming outside.
Preseason All-American Manny Hazard has had some injury problems earlier in the year. Now the pass is completed out to the left side of John Brown, and it is out of bounds about the 5. John Brown, the 6'3", 200-pound junior JC transfer, knocked out by Pat Burris.
Now we're getting down in the scoring area. They got to play him a little bit tighter, a little bit looser. He goes to the outside to John Brown, and John Brown's got to lower himself and get as much as he can down in here. Force the defensive backs, Pat Burris, to come up and make the tackle.
First and goal from the 5. Remember, Houston was here once before on the other end of the field, and Klinger threw an interception. That not only ended the Cougar drive, but on that possession by Arkansas, they scored. So that's a 14-point swing on the last possession in close. Overthrown, incomplete. He made sure he led Cooper, but he let him too much. He didn't want to be intercepted, but he was hoping Cooper could maybe reach it.
Well, he also drilled that ball awful hard. That would have been a real difficult catch. He's down in the short working area down there, and he really drilled that ball. That would have been a tremendous catch if the Cooper had been able to come up with it, but it was also high. He hit him right in the numbers and forced him to wrap his arms around and catch it. That's a hard pass to catch.
Third down. Good is coming out wide right. Klinger still has the ball, and everybody faked out. Throws it to the end zone, incomplete. Too high again. He's missing on his targets. Alexander couldn't reach it.
He threw off balance that time, Greg. He threw off balance off his back foot. Whenever you throw off balance, you throw off that back foot, the ball has a tendency to sail. Of course, he was so wide open. Alexander was so wide open that he wanted to make sure he got it to him before anybody could recover. Now watch him throw this ball off that back foot. Watch how he throws it falling away. See how he threw the ball falling away? Whenever you do that, the ball will have a tendency to sail. He knew it as soon as he let it go.
Klingler has been off target early, and that's the difference. Roman Anderson rarely off target in the field goal category. And he's on target again as he puts the Cougars 3 points closer to the Razorbacks. It's 14-10 Arkansas, as Roman Anderson now has 56 career field goals in the Southwest Conference play. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sharp, the first 12-to-1 zoom camcorder, that's who. Sharp, so fully automatic, just turn it on and shoot. The Sharp 12-to-1 zoom camcorder, that's who. While most camcorders stop here, Sharp keeps zooming all the way to here. Beautiful, even in low light. Sharp, the first 12-to-1 zoom. Nobody gets you closer to the ones you love than Sharp. From Sharp Minds comes Sharp products.
Losing it by 3 on the field goal by Roman Anderson. He is now tied for second in the career field goal leaders players during their Southwest Conference career. Jeff Ward of Texas First. Remember, Anderson only a junior, so he's going to be way ahead of everyone by the end of next year.
And the other interesting thing, he's kicked the last 2 years without a tee. Those other kickers were using a tee in their college career.
He's a great kicker, and Roman Anderson will have a career that's going to continue far past his college career.
He's only 6 points away from the Southwest Conference career scoring record held by James Gray of Texas Tech.
Roman is from Sugar Land, Texas, a Houston suburb, as he kicks it. Well, Caldwell takes it on a bounce and goes back into the end zone, and the impetus of the ball took him in, so that's okay, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. He did not run it in from the 1. The ball bounced in.
Now you can see what happens now on the sideline. Klingler over there, so he's in a position he can talk to all his receivers, ask him about what's happening. At this particular point, they've just got to kind of, Klingler has to get just a little bit more poise. John Jenkins showing good poise himself, coming over and going to talk to him, saying, hey, things are working. We just have to have poise and patience, and we can score against this soft zone. Other side, you can see what's going on over there.
That's now, a defensive guy.
The defensive coaches talking to the defensive players of Arkansas, saying, now here's what they did on that last drive.
E.D. Jackson. Flag. He got to the 23-yard line. Flag thrown just about as he turned the corner at the line of scrimmage. Trey Hooper with the tackle.
Well, this is going to be an interesting call. Let's see what they call. Holding against number 89, Botkin. Tried to get the outside block, and I thought he was holding, but I wanted to make sure that's what the official called.
So they'll move it back from the 20 to the 15.
Take a look at number 89 now, the tight end as he comes out with his block. As soon as he cuts behind the block, right there. Ooh, that's kind of a tough call. That looked a pretty good block. Looked like a pretty good block. Maybe he had his hand wrapped around him that we didn't see from that angle of the replay.
Couldn't see the hand. Now that get it all squared away. 10:17 to go. Let's listen to Lloyd Dale. 10:17 to go in the first half. It is 14-10 Arkansas over Houston. The Houston scoring drive, which got the field goal, 36 yards, 9 plays. They still are not in sync. That's the only 3 points the offense has scored for Houston, but they're just 4 points back. Roman Anderson, the man who did it.
Well, nice looking junior kicker. 5'11", 180-pounder.
Give inside for short yardage is Tyler Muko making the stop at about the 15-yard line on Jackson.
As Grovey comes down the line of scrimmage on that play, puts it in the fullback, or in this case Jackson, puts it right in his midsection. He wants to see what the defensive end is doing. Take a look at it now. Watch him as he comes down the line. He has the option of taking it back out. That time he gave it to him right away. Figured maybe we could get some running room inside. And you have to run that to allow him to get the outside occasionally on the options.
Head coach Jack Crow of the Arkansas Razorbacks looking as his team faces a 2nd and 16. The containment is there this time. The pitch at the last minute to Jackson, and he's banged out. You can hear the pads pop. Kenny Perry. One of those that hit E.D. Short gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, Groovy, they didn't make much yardage on this play, but Groovy did an excellent job. Houston defensively strung the play out, but watch him wait to the last second to make this pitch as long as he possibly can. Look, he goes into the defensive man and makes that pitch left-handed, one hand back to Jackson, having confidence that Jackson would maintain that relationship. That's important. He maintains that relationship between the quarterback and the pitchman.
Perry gets the tackle, but Daniel Johnson and Tyler Mucco were the two that strung it out and allowed him to get there. 3rd and 13.
Not normally a passing formation.
But it is. Caught by Russell, and it's a first down across the 30-yard line. What a catch by Derek Russell, the Little Rock Central senior.
Well, again, that's an I formation, and about the only passing attack you have off of is play action, and that's exactly what he did. A little bit fake to inside. There comes a slant pass, and you're right. What a great catch. The ball was thrown behind him. You can see why there's plenty of pro scouts right here in the stands right now looking at him. They're playing zone. See him sitting 3 deep? There comes a slant right underneath, and, of course, here comes Parks up to make the tackle. Parks that time was playing the middle safety.
Needed to keep him getting across the 30. They could not. Coming into the game with 29 receptions. He's had 2 or 3 in this one. It is a first down, Arkansas. Little dump past the tight end. There's a first down across midfield. To the 40. To the 30-yard line. That was number 88, Lindy Lindsey, as the tight end has been a big feature in the Arkansas passing game so far. And it's a big gain for Lindsey. Only his 4th reception of the year.
Well, they've got 2 fine freshman tight ends, Lindsey and Botka. Now, he fakes that going one way. Comes back on a bootleg to his left. Burnett has to come up and contain. Parks had to go off with the wide receiver. Uh-oh, would have got a penalty on the play. Going to bring it back?
It's coming back. It was a great play, but it's going to be moved back. Let's see how much. Looks like there was a clip at about the 47-yard line, so they're still going to gain some yardage on it. But they're not going to gain as much as they did.
Well, holding call on the play. And of course, Jack Crow obviously upset by the call. You could see him out on the field there screaming at the official. Official on that side didn't make the play. That's what happens. The official on the side of the upset coach usually gets the wrath of the coach, but he had to make the call, so he has to pacify the coach a little bit.
See if we can
Let's see if we can pick it up on the bottom of the screen. There's Codwell right there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. That's a pretty... No, he didn't hold. He almost tackled.
Well, he was going to let go, but it sure looked like he maybe grabbed him around the leg, and that's what he got called for. It was perhaps minor, well, in the sense that he actually maybe didn't really get him, but he looked like he was going to get him.
Now, what Crow is doing is probably discussing the spot of the penalty versus what it all happened. I don't think he's questioning the call as much as he's questioning right now. I think he's questioning the enforcement of the call. At what spot did the holding penalty occur? I'm sure that's what that discussion is all about.
Apparently he has the explanation, so it will still be Arkansas's ball. It will still be first down.
Oh, now.
I think. Let's see.
Well, let's see if he... Let's see, the official, he may have forced a timeout by Arkansas, in which case it would be Arkansas's 3rd timeout.
Let's see if he did. He's marking it off.
Unless it's a controversial situation, I think that's exactly what happened. He called a timeout. The official called a timeout on Arkansas. You're out of timeouts, he just said to him. We have no more timeouts for Arkansas this 2nd quarter.
We got 8 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the first half. It's 14-10. Arkansas leading Houston, if you've just joined us. We're at the Astrodome on Prime Network. And we will take a break and return with more action in just a moment. 8:46 to go in the first half of play. The Razorbacks using their 3rd and final timeout. Total yards relatively close as the score is, but time of possession has been Arkansas's all the way. This is a 1st and 10 from the Arkansas 43. Aaron Jackson is ankle tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Trey Hooper for no gain.
Well, that's what you call a sprint draw, where the quarterback goes out a little bit to his right, gives it to the tailback. He has the option of running the ball anywhere along the line of scrimmage out of this high formation. See him going there. Now, he's looking all over to see if there's any daylight. Houston did a great job of holding their gaps and controlling their defensive players. Stop it for no gain.
Second and 10 from the 43. Trey Hooper, the Mineral Wells, Texas senior, one of the few seniors on this defensive unit for the Cougars. Lindsey switches sides, the tight end, and the pitch back to Jackson, and Jackson gets short yardage across the 45 to about the 47 or so. Perhaps a pickup of 4. It'll be 3rd and 6. John Brown and Kenny Perry, the free safety and defensive back, running him out.
Well, that's several times now they have run that option into the short sideline, and evidently their coaching staff must feel that Houston is probably going to be working to the wide side of the field. Maybe we can get away with a big play back into the short side. That also sets up a reverse and gimmick play coming from that short sideline way back to the wide side of the field that they ran with Russell earlier and had great success with.
4 out of 7 on third down conversions for Arkansas. And it's still 4 out of 7. He stopped short. That was Botkin, brought down by Kenny Perry. It'll be 4th down. He's short by about a yard.
Boy, now that's a great play by Perry. He's a 160-pounder, and Botkin's a 235-pounder. Let's see what type of decision to make, to go for it or not. He's about a yard short of the first down, and that big tight end catches it. 235 against 160. Excellent tackle.
They're going for it, it appears. They've got the...
Well, that's the way you make an upset, by having the courage to go for plays in certain situations.
Interesting, too, on short yardage, they take out tight ends. They've got an I formation and more wideouts in than you normally see on a 4th and 1. Grovey is... Oh, that's going to be close.
Depends on the spot. Depends on the spot. If the official on this side spots it, he didn't make it. If the official on the backside spots it, he will make it. Depends on the spot.
I think he's short, and Ryan McCoy and Eric Blunt with the stop.
Well, they think they made it over there.
Yeah, let us see. Oh, now wait.
Greg, I
thought
thought
the ball is, he does have it.
Greg, I think the official on that side of the field made the spot. They had almost 2 different spots.
He is going to be short if the chains are, if the marker on the far side is accurate. Of course, the chain is what is official.
If it's accurate, the chain will be right on that line, as you said. It'll be about the length of the football short.
And it would be Houston's football. Let's see. Houston football. There's a happy defensive coach.
Greg, that's the core of the defensive coordinator. It's a big stop for them. But don't second guess Jack Crow. He's a 2-4 football team. He's got to take chances. He doesn't want things to happen. He wants to hang on to the football. I don't think that was the worst thought in the world there.
Now, his defense has done a good job of containing Houston. Of course, that's tough for a full game, no matter what kind of a defense you play with the run and shoot, because they can put points on quickly, but they have contained them up to this point.
You're in Houston territory, and he had to have confidence that his football team could make a yard. They didn't do it. That's the consequences that they have to suffer.
Klingler inside to Weatherspoon. First down across the 40. Booming to the 35-yard line. Big Chuck Weatherspoon with a first down. He tried to run over a couple of defensive backs, David and Banks.
Again, see the time factor. No one's open downfield. He comes back and hits Spoon. Now, of course, this is what he's great at, breaking tackles. He's so short and so strong and so powerful. Watch him when he lowers his head, get the extra yardage down there.
Quick hitter, complete to about the 25-yard line. James running out Marcus Grant. Now, people would say that was a great play, and it was, but that's also the kind of play they'd be running a lot more if there was more pressure being put on the quarterback. So that's the options, all the options that Houston have. We got a timeout to measure this one. See if they got all 10 yards. Marcus Grant, a sophomore from Dallas Carter, played very little last year, but it was on the 87 state high school champions. I think you may have seen him a time or two in high school.
The other thing that happens with the run and shoot, the longer the game goes, the more those receivers doing all that run and alternating 8 of them in and out. They get the defensive backs and linebackers a little bit tighter, and also the quarterback has a tendency to really figure out exactly what's going on from that defensive standpoint. You see most run and shoot teams, as the game progresses, their offense begins to pick up more and more and more.
That has been the case. That certainly was the case in their squeakiest game. Well, there really been 2 squeaky games. The Rice game, certainly, that was a surprise squeaky game. And then their Texas A&M game, in which they had to rally to come from behind. But that may have been the story there. They Trailed 17-0 and really being dominated in the first quarter of that game and part of the second quarter, but they came on strong from that point on.
See how deep the linebackers are. Now he's audible, calling the play.
Weatherspoon offset now. And he'll take the handoff, but no, he won't. That's going to be a touchdown. What a fake! What a fake! And the touchdown to Verlon Brown. He had the announcer going for the ball. He had the entire defense going for the ball, and Weatherspoon didn't have it.
Boy, he did a great job of making a fake to Weatherspoon in there, made the fake and came back. Verlon Brown just went right down the sideline. Of course, again, he has great speed. All those people in Forest City, Arkansas, rooting for the Hogs. Well, that's kind of a tough one to take. The young man from Forest City, Arkansas, made that touchdown.
The extra point coming from Roman Anderson, and it is good. And so Houston takes the lead with 6:20 to go in the second quarter. The Cougars on top of the Hogs by a score of 17-14. And we'll be back in just a moment. Last year, Verlon Brown was leading the nation in receptions. Then he broke an ankle. Now he's an outside receiver. But look at this fake by Klingler and Weatherspoon.
You see, they even pulled the guard to make it look like a running play. The left guard pulled, puts his hand in there, puts the ball on his hip, keeps it on his hip, knows right now that he's got a touchdown in his hand, and all he's got to do is get to him. Look at the hip. He hides it behind him, a la Boomer Esiason, and in the end zone. Now, from Arkansas' standpoint, secondary people have been playing 3 deep. They should have stayed alert back there.
And the kickoff in the end zone. Caldwell will get it across the 25-yard line where Arkansas will have the ball. Kevin Simpson with the tackle. Let's take a look at the scoring drive that was capped off by Brown's touchdown reception. 3 plays, 52 yards, 28 seconds. Didn't take long.
They score quickly, but you see, the defensive secondary of Arkansas has been sitting back playing that 3-deep zone. The one thing the secondary coach says to them all the time, don't look in the backfield to see what's happening. Keep your eyes out on the wide receiver. The defensive back looked into the backfield. He took 3 or 4 steps forward to help a running play. That's when you get burnt for the long, easy touchdown.
Florida State with a big lead at halftime over LSU, 28-3. We'll be going through some scores later on as Arkansas has a first down. Grovey looks deep, too deep, incomplete. Second down and 10. Lindsey, the intended receiver, with John Brown nearby.
Yeah, John Brown, the freshman, had excellent coverage. He was in a man-to-man situation, and he just kept running right down the sideline with Lindsey. Of course, that's the defensive back covering a tight end. Long way for a tight end to go to make a reception.
Let me ask you something, Ed, about momentum, because I don't disagree with you on that attempt at 4th down in which Arkansas tried it, didn't make it, but that's on paper and that's statistical. I ask you about what effect that has momentum-wise on the other team in just a moment. As the fake pitch, and Grovey's got a lot of room to run. He'll get the first down and more at the 40 and the 45 and near midfield as he's run out by Jerry Parks.
Well, I think the answer right there is on that play. The momentum obviously shifted when you don't make it. But if you come back and stick to your game plan, as Arkansas is doing right here, they've done this play an awful lot. Fake coming one way. Of course, Muko is a sophomore linebacker, was supposed to contain. You can see Muko, number 45, chased him. When your offense comes back and get right back into the rhythm that you had, it really won't affect you that much. A coach has to have a certain amount of confidence, a certain amount of guts. And again, they're the underdog. They were a 16-point underdog in this game.
Tight end shifting to the other side. That's Lindsey. 1 wide out. The pitch back to Aaron Jackson, and he gets to midfield, and he's knocked out of bounds after a pickup of 2. Ryan McCoy running him out.
And again, Greg, they're running that option play into the short sideline. They haven't had any success with it. They certainly must be setting up the reverse, going back to that wide side, hoping that Houston over pursues. It's about the 4th time they've run in the short sideline. Him come down the line, makes a little bit of fake now, coming out, either going to pitch or make the pitch. He makes the pitch. There's not much running room for the back to go. You see number 25, John Brown, again up in there making that tackle. 2nd and 8. Ball right at midfield. Houston leading at 17-14. We've got 5:23 to go in the first half. Quick hitter off the hands of Russell, and he was wide open. The pass was a little high and hard, but it was right
an open play.
I think that ball might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, too. That's that same play they had success with score. They come down line of scrimmage. It might have just been tipped a little bit because he threw the ball behind. Let's see if we can see if the ball was tipped in there. Coming down right. No, it wasn't tipped at all. He just threw the ball a little bit high, bounced off of Russell's hands. That's the same play they picked up big yardage with earlier in the game.
Derek Russell, the senior from Little Rock Central.
When they get an I formation, you don't have a lot of passing plays. It has to be a type of play action, and apparently Houston is playing a lot of zone against that right now, and they're trying to take advantage of it with that play, and that's a good play selection.
3 wideouts left side. Grovey on a dump. It's incomplete because the intended receiver, Jackson, tripped and fell trying to get out into position, so it's 4th down. Reggie Burnett maybe made the knock.
Well, they were setting up a screen, and they knew they had the screen set up because Grovey realizes that all we had is set up. Watch him right now. See, there's a little bit of push. He's got the screen set up, and he fell down after he came off the block. Jackson just slipped, got AstroTurf jumped up and got him with those cleats. Grovey said, oh, my goodness, we might have had the first down.
So that would have been the play. So now they'll have to kick it away. Glenn Ray Hines, 1 punt, 35 yards. Parks is back in the center position, and he's going to fair catch it. No, he's not. He's going to fake a fair catch, and actually it's going to come back to almost where he was standing when he faked it. But it was a good punt inside the 10-yard line by Hines.
Oh, that was an excellent punt. Anytime you back somebody up inside the 10-yard line with the kick, and you force them to go 90-some yards to get there, that's a great job. Hines also had that ability that punters now have, working on AstroTurf. They can get that nose of the ball to hit, so it'll come back to where they punted for. Gives them great leverage to get that ball down inside the 10-yard line. All the college punters are working on that.
Halftime, we'll be taking a look at the Houston Cougar Marching Band as they are getting set for their halftime performance. Statistics, highlights, all coming your way here on Prime.
Now, with 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter, I think this is a key situation defensively for Arkansas to keep Houston from going down and getting another quick score.
Weatherspoon on the first carry. He's got the first down, and he's across the 21-yard line. Chuck Weatherspoon brought down by Curtis Banks. He gets rolling, and he's hard to stop. He is 5'7", 210.
And he hasn't had much running ability up into this game. He's had some problems with some injuries. Looks like he's ready to go. He's had the flu. He's had virus.
Yeah, they said that he had about the best practice week health-wise that he's had all year. Safety valve to Tracy Good as he's across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Pickup of perhaps 6. It'll be second down.
Got a penalty back there, Greg.
Ty Mason with the stop, but there is a flag.
Arkansas players are signaling it's against Houston. If it is, it'll be a holding call against Houston.
That's it. Penalties.
I think that's about the 4th one for Houston, but they've had some ones that have really hurt them. Let's see if we can see the hold, see where it occurs. Well, he's got his arms wrapped around him there, holding on to him pretty good. If that one, maybe somewhere on the other side. If the flag came on the right side over there, could have been called on that one also.
He had the jersey. That was Jessup. You could see he actually had a piece of jersey.
Just 2 hands full. That's not too much, is it?
Those are light. Those jerseys are light. Penalties almost, it's when you get them as much as anything else, I think. That one isn't necessarily a bad one because it's still first down, and this is a team that can make up 20 yards, but still rather not have it deep in this territory. Weatherspoon, he may make up about 10 of it by himself. He got it almost back out to the 20-yard line, picks up about 7 or 8. Ty Mason with the stop.
Well, I think you're going to see Houston have continued success with that play again with those linebackers dropping off about 5 yards deep. Of course, 1st and 20, you don't care. It's a good fake in there again by Klingler. Giving the ball to Weatherspoon. He followed him right through and picked up some yardage.
It'll be 2nd and 13, pickup of 7. Verlon Brown, as he's banged out of bounds at about, well, no, he's not out, but the clock will keep rolling at the 28. It will still be rolling as they're still short of a first down. Michael James knocks him away.
Again, you can see the patience of Klingler. Runs a draw with Witherspoon, a quick out. Now he's just got 3rd down and maybe 4 or 5 to pick up the first down rather than trying to go for it all on that 1st or 2nd down when he had long yardage to go.
That's the time remaining in the first half. Houston leading 17-14. John Brown, the 3rd, wide left. Inside is Hazard. The give to Weatherspoon. He's got the first down. He's still rumbling up across the 45 to the 46, and a flag is thrown. He was helping the official.
Well, Spoon knew he was down. He helped the official make that call. He knew he was down. Boy, he jumped up, and that flag came in. Take a look at this now. Watch this, a late hit. Now watch Spoon does a good job going one way, plants the left foot, cuts back. Now watch when he goes down here finally right now. Now comes the hit. Watch him jump up, scream and yell. Look. Yeah,
that was late.
Now he sees the flag.
Defense.
It's a first down, but it would have been a first down anyway. They just add some yards to it.
Well, that's an alert play by Weatherspoon to realize that he was down when that hit came in there to jump up and help sell the call to the official.
7.4 average last year, Weatherspoon.
Last year he had 9.6 yard average,
which is an NCAA
record
for players that had played the required number of games. Year before, 8.5. First down, the ball is inside the Arkansas 40. It's at the 39.
Egan audible now. This could be a deep pass.
Weatherspoon instead as he rambles inside the 20. To the 15-yard line. Chuck Weatherspoon, the tank. And Ireland with the stop.
You might call this the spoon drive. Ooh, those aren't boos. Those are the fans saying spoon, spoon, spoon. Watch this throw again. Look at him pick the hole, break it to the outside. Linebackers playing loose, anticipate. Look at him lower that shoulder. Look at him look up people to run over the top of. That's two people he just ran through. And believe me, that hurts those shoulders when someone like that hits you.
I tell you, Houston next year is going to miss him more than they'll ever know until next year. He is a piece of work.
You got a pretty good sophomore, Teandra Sanders.
Yeah, but he doesn't run over people. He tries to run past them. Here's Weatherspoon again. Look at that. Quick feet. Doesn't get anything out of it, but he really showed the ability to stop. Nick Thomas diagnosed the play and made a good stop for Arkansas. That was a big play. It's a loss on the play of about a yard, second down.
Well, you can see also that Weatherspoon is very hungry to run the football. He's had a few ball games where with the injuries he hasn't been doing much, but you can see the tiger hungry look in his eye right now.
Again, the Cougars don't huddle, but they'll take most of the 25 seconds anyway. Well, they took about 10. Here's quick out. It is complete. Let's see. Yes, complete on the far side. Picked off by Craig Alexander right off the shoe tops. And that moves it down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, there's 2 minutes to go now in the second quarter. The clock is running. Of course, Houston has some timeouts left.
Houston with unofficially 16 first downs and 274 yards. Minute 49.
Third down, they'll run and draw sometimes in this situation.
There it is. To the 5-yard line as he is stacked up at that point by Thomas and also number 42 in on the play.
Spot of this ball will be important, whether it's fourth down or whether they made the first down. The spot of the ball will be important. Of course, the crowd now they want Houston to go for it. He didn't make it. It's going to be fourth down with about a yard to go. They don't want the field goal. They want him to go for it. They're going to take a timeout and talk it over.
Well, with any field goal kicker, this is just about automatic. But certainly with Houston's kicker, Anderson, it really is. But I don't know. With Chuck Weatherspoon,
6-point lead.
Yeah, well, the other thing too with Chuck Weatherspoon, even if the whole team knows he's going to carry it, very tough for him not to gain at least 1 yard if he goes straight and doesn't try to go sideways.
Well, you're kind of back into that same thing. Most coaches, most of the time, feel their offense can pick up 1 yard when they need it in this type of situation. Now, Houston a little bit unorthodox. You would anticipate that they would run Spoon. This might be one of those times where they run that little rollout and look for that inside receiver just breaking out to the corner, because more than likely this will be a situation where you'll catch Arkansas playing man-to-man inside their 5-yard line.
This has been a tough year for Jack Crow and the Razorbacks, and it's not all because of what's happened on the field. They have been down to as few as 72 scholarship players, able-bodied, and we'll talk to him briefly at halftime.
When you make coaching staff changes and you make assistant coaching staff changes, you only had one holdover from that staff. A lot of adjustments for staffs to make, a lot of adjustments for the players to make.
All right, right, now they're in the same formation they were when they faked last time and threw the touchdown. Let's see what happens on fourth. Klingler first down as he just keeps it right up the middle on a quick count. He in the center knew where they were going. Nobody else was involved in the play. First and goal for Houston. They haven't spotted it officially yet, but he did get enough, I'm quite certain.
Well, they're taking a look at it. The spot of the ball. They may ask for a measurement.
Yeah, he does have enough. They may bring the chains out, but from where the marker is on the far side.
Well, Spoon's also officiating as he got the penalty. No, he's wasted first down. So no, quit wasting your time. But I think the officials still might put a little measurement on this.
Oh, they'll bring it out to be sure because it's an important play, but it certainly looked the original spot like they had it by a few inches. Now they got it by a few inches.
The length of the football. Well, I'll tell you something about that Wilson football out there. David Klingler's grandmother works in Ada, Ohio, where they make the Wilson football. She's a stitcher. That's right outside of Lima. He was born in Lima. His grandmother still lives there. She works at the Wilson factory. She may have stitched that football.
You never know.
That might be a grandmother's advantage.
First and goal from the 4. 1 minute to play. Klingler to the end zone, incomplete, intended for Tracy Good, as he will have a second down. That stops the clock with 57 seconds to play in the first half. Houston leading at 17-14.
Struggling a little tad. He's struggling tad right now with the passing game down inside this area. Threw that interception in a situation like that earlier. Threw a couple of them out of the end zone, and that same time again he went out and he kind of threw off that back foot. Just didn't have enough on it to get it to Tracy Good in the end zone.
He's had some people open. He's just not been able to complete them in close. I guess the timing is the difference. He sees them open at the time that he's not ready to throw it. Blitz, and Witherspoon is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Ty Mason got to him first.
No, that's a good call defensively from Arkansas' standpoint. They anticipated if there's a possibility they'd run Spoon on this play, try to run a trap play. Now watch him get in the hip of the guard. See him getting the hip of that guard pulling across there? You see the pull of the guard. Geisler pulls across there. Watch the right guard pull. Now watch him get right in his hip pocket because he knows he's going to take it to the play. Exactly the way his linebacker coach said it. So when he pulls across there, you go with him. You'll be in on the tackle.
Houston takes its second timeout. The Cougars have one left, and they can use that to set up the field goal if they don't get close enough on this play. This is third and goal, and they're at about the 5.
Well, they certainly would like to get the touchdown out, not have to settle for the field goal, especially when they went for it on fourth down. They could have had that field goal under those circumstances. 33 seconds left to go here at a half. Been an interesting ball game. A lot of interesting strategy going on here. Arkansas's approach to the game. Houston having to have patience against that 3-man rush. Having difficulty when they got inside the 10-yard line, which is exactly what Arkansas wants to have happen.
One place where Houston has a tendency to get better is at the early stages of a second half, after they've had a whole half to look at what the defense is doing and then decide in a more calm, controlled circumstance, in other words, play not going on at halftime, decide exactly what they're going to go about in the second half, and they have actually picked up quite a bit here in the second quarter.
But see, now what might happen, Arkansas may say, we know they're going to do that, so we're going to come out and be very aggressive defensively in the second half. I don't know that for a fact, but that's sometimes what defensive coaches think.
Third down and goal. 33 seconds to go in the first half. Now they drop off the line as Klingler. There's a flag, could be holding, touchdown, but will it count? Manny Hazard catches it, but there was a flag near the line of scrimmage. It's holding Houston. No touchdown.
Well, John Jenkins shaking that head. Hey, wait a minute, we're making this game tougher than it was supposed to be.
What this will do, of course, they got the touchdown, so you say, well, why are you saying this? Well,
Offense, repeat third down.
the fact is now they're going to have a little more room to run pass patterns, although that's kind of a moot point since they just got a touchdown that they lost, but they do have a little more room.
Well, they've got to go to the end zone, though, and they know that.
Yeah.
And also, this is a situation where Arkansas said, hey, as long as we stop them from the goal line, clock might even run out with only 28 seconds. Holding was on number 72. You can see him asked for the field. Holding was on Jason Jessup. They always asked the official, the coaches on the sideline, who the holding penalty was on, so they can remind him of that at halftime or the next time he comes off the field.
It is third and goal. Ball back on the 15. Houston. Tracy Good. And the Cougars make up for it.
Well, Joe Pate, the Arkansas defensive coordinator, going to be very unhappy with them scoring on that play on a third down in that type of situation. It just went right down the middle of the zone. It was playing a three-deep situation, split the seam and got the ball to him and even lobbed it, so they didn't have much recovery time.
The extra point coming up off the foot of Roman Anderson with 21 seconds to go in the first half. It's good.
Greg, you talked about momentum plays. That's a momentum play when you go into halftime with a touchdown and your opponents who have fought very hard the first half go in now trailing by the 10-point rather than 3. Here's a play right down the seam of the zone. See the safety not get there over the linebacker's head between a defensive safety and a defensive outside player.
For Tracy Good, 3 touchdown catches. And Klingler with, again, a lot of time to throw, a lot of field to look at.
Well, he's looking around and he spots it now, looking to throw that ball off the front foot. That one didn't sail. He knows right now. Boom, touchdown. Easy pickings.
It is 24-14 with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. And we will have a kickoff. Roman Anderson will kick it away. Houston 6-0. They are 5-0 in conference play. They finished the season with 2 non-conference games. Of course, they are not eligible to win the Southwest Conference Championship officially, nor go to the Cotton Bowl. They are on the 3rd year of probation. This year they are appearing on television, but they want to be at least the unofficial champs, and they'd like to go undefeated because they can finish very high, certainly in the national rankings. They are 6th in the AP poll this week, 5th in USA Today.
They've scored the last 3 times they've had their hands on the football with the patience. Field goal, and a touchdown pass to Brown, and now a touchdown pass to Good. So it seems like they're having the patience and understanding what Arkansas is doing defensive. Arkansas needs to make some defensive adjustments at halftime.
Houston is unranked in the United Press International Coaches Poll. That poll does not include any team that is on any kind of probation. Here is a kickoff to about the 8-yard line. And Caldwell gets it up across the 20 to the 27, where Preston Bailey brings him down. Arkansas will have the ball with 17 seconds to go in the half.
Well, Sampson and Leon and Bailey and Pesman and Pardee, Anderson, Gaston, Russell, Kingston, all those kickoff coverage people played that cautious. They got down there and broke down. They knew there was only 20 seconds to go in half. Now 17. Of course, there's Houston's touchdown drive. 12 plays, 93 yards. Used a little more clock than they usually do. 4:39, 14-yard touchdown pass. But good kickoff coverage there. So we don't care if you get out the 25-yard line. There's only 17 seconds to go.
Cougars now have 100 more yards in total offense, 292 to 192 here in the first half. And Arkansas just goes down on one knee. They're not going to do anything here. As the clock will run out, we'll have no more plays here in the first half as it ticks away. And so at halftime, our score will be the Houston Cougars 24, the Arkansas Razorbacks 14. We'll be back with the halftime activities here at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas in just a moment. You're watching Prime Network.
To tell you how.
Right. And he has a brother who's a freshman redshirt. So there may be Klingler's playing for University of Houston for about the next 5 years. But they had great high school coaching. Oscar Cripps of Stratford High School.
There are going to be some people around the nation that don't follow this club very closely. They're going to wonder, how's this Klingler been eligible for 8 years? Here's Good inside the 10. Look at the speed from Tracy Good. Oh, my, as he gets across the 45 to the 43-yard line, finally stopped by Michael James. Did he take off like a rocket or what?
Well, you can't coach speed, and when you got people with speed, they can do a lot of things. Watch the blocks set up here now. Look at the angle blocks all coming to the inside. Everybody had perfect blocks moving to the inside. One kick-out block by number 34 there to the outside. That was by Carlos Leon, and that's what set the play up. He hit the seam. Everybody with great angles.
And the kicker, Todd Wright, did what the kicker is supposed to do, just getting away enough to make him move offline a little bit so that someone can catch up to him. And that's what happened. Possessions for Houston, as you can see, they finished very strong. Scoring on all of the last 3. Klingler back to throw. Inside release to Weatherspoon, and Weatherspoon gets down to about the 33-yard line. It'll be short of a first down by about a yard. Shannon Wright with the tackle.
Of course, Weatherspoon right now is really piling up some statistics, adding to his all-purpose yardage with running the ball and receiving the ball.
Set a single season. HSE is our affiliate in the Texas market, of course. Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico. And that is a live ball, no, incomplete, intended for Manny Hazard, and he really got ripped just as the ball got there. Incomplete pass.
But Weatherspoon coming in this ball game, Greg, was only 133 yards behind Earl Campbell's all-purpose situation. There he's back right there. They're trying to run that screen where Hazard come back to the inside. Very good reaction by Curtis Banks.
Yeah, Banks may have hit him just a little bit too early. If he could hit him just a tad later, he might have gotten a fumble out of that. But he never had control. Third down and a yard. Houston 3 out of 6 in situations like this. They're also really in two-try territory if they wish. Weatherspoon doesn't need 2 tries. First down inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line. Ty Mason again with the tackle. The Decatur, Illinois junior has been in on quite a few for Arkansas. Normally a backup linebacker, but he's playing extra duty.
Well, you don't see him run this play very well. They just turn and toss the ball to Weatherspoon, makes a fake to the inside. Now, you got to have a little speed to make that move and get to the outside. Obviously, great strength.
Especially when all he needed was 1 yard. He's got to be aware that he's trying to get the first down.
Well, he's got 115 all-purpose yardage so far. He's ready to move ahead of Earl Campbell very shortly.
Weatherspoon blocking this time. Klingler goes corner, left side. Patrick Cooper, touchdown, Houston. A factor in the Heisman race. There are a lot of people, including me, that feel that it would be awfully tough for a player from the same school to win it 2 years in a row, and Andre Ware won it last year. But you can't deny that David Klingler can throw the football.
Well, if they go undefeated and he continues to go like this, he's certainly going to have to get some attention to it.
And the extra point is good. Let's take a look at the replay.
Well, he did a good job looking at Hazard underneath. It looked like he was going to go to Hazard underneath coming inside there. And, of course, all he did was he went down, went like he was going to the goalpost. Cooper then broke right outside to the flag pattern. He was wide open.
How effective has Klingler been? How about 3 touchdowns in his last 6 completions?
And the other thing he did on that play, he was looking to his right. He really knew where he was going all the way, but he comes out looking to the right to lure the defensive backs to go that way. Then he comes back.
He says, yeah, call that one 6. They got the extra point. It's 31-14.
Well, he has a great grasp of this offense, Greg. I just marveled by how much at this stage of his career I compared him with Kelly and Andre Ware. I think he understands. Dick has told me the other day that he gives him a test on Friday, 250 pages. He makes him design every offensive block and every receiver's route. Says the first time he's ever had anybody, all 250 pages, he had absolutely right. Every player's assignment.
The scoring drive, a quick one. 1:06, 42 yards. Cooper with the touchdown pass. 3 touchdown passes, 3 different receivers. For Cooper, his 8th touchdown grab of the year. The senior from Dallas, Wilmer Hutchins. And there are the receivers. Group photo. Those are all regulars, folks. There isn't a second stringer in that group.
That's exactly right. Number 1's good. Number 4, Verlin Brown, who's got a touchdown pass.
Here's the kickoff. And it's taken at the 8-yard line. Ron Dickerson Jr. brings it out, and Preston Bailey on the stop. The possessions for Arkansas, they have gone just the opposite direction of Houston. They had the interception on the first one, but then 2 touchdowns in a row, they have had to give it up the last 3 times.
And you can rest assured the Arkansas coaching staff recognize the importance of getting back into their flow of the game right now on their first possession in the 3rd quarter.
E.D. Jackson, the lone running back, 3 wideouts left side, 1 a flanker, 1 a tight end off the line. And Lindsey's in motion, leading the blocking for Jackson. Good gain of about 7 yards. Knocked off his feet by Kenny Perry on the far side. It'll be second down. 334 yards total offense for Houston. 197, including that last play for Arkansas. David Klingler, 3 touchdown passes after really a slow start. A couple of passes that he missed early.
But it happens that way so often with this run and shoot attack that they've got to get the feel for the difference. Very hard to simulate defensively in practice what the opponents are going to give you because you're not quite sure what they're going to give you.
Second down and 3. Botkin in motion, leading the blocking. Jackson, he is stopped short of the first down by about a half yard. Eric Blunt getting to him first from his strong side linebacker spot. It'll be third down at about a yard. Well, Mississippi 14, Vanderbilt 7, one other score. Let's take a look at the Klingler clan. There they are.
Looks like they're all women. Wait a minute. There's got to be a man in there someplace. Those are all ladies.
Now, is the football stitcher supposed to be in that group today, I wonder?
The grandma.
Grandma's supposed to be up here today?
She's got to be the gray-haired one, Greg.
Grovey on the pitch. Jackson. He's got the first down across the 40 to about the 45. Reggie Burnett tripped him up.
That was kind of an important first down for Arkansas. They need to let that defense have a little rest over there. Just down line option play. He's looking for daylight. Now he makes the pitch. And of course, Jackson, knowing he just needs a yard or so, turns upfield and picks up 4 or 5 on the play rather than just settling for 1.
Ball at the 44-yard line. E.D. Jackson has really been the ball carrier in this one. The sophomore from Kilgore. Ron Dickerson, Aaron Jackson haven't been in the game much. Intercepted and incomplete. Almost picked off again by Parks, and he would have gone perhaps all the way with that one.
Oh, Parks will see that one in his sleep tonight. He said, oh, I could have made All-American by making 2 interceptions in 1 game. Watch him close on the ball, looking break in front. All he's got to do is catch it. Now, he knew he could take it to the end zone. Maybe a little too anxious. He almost got hit from the backside by Burnett. Boom, he got pushed in the back a little bit at the end. Burnett kind of eased off of him, though. No way that they were going to get down there to tackle Parks if he makes that interception.
Second down and 10. Russell and Caldwell both wide left side. Both speedy, both good hands. Grovey rolling left. He's got pressure. He's going to scramble right. Nowhere to go as he finally is out of bounds at the 41. Looked like he was still getting ready to cock the arm. Ryan McCoy got to him first. Boy, he had to run about 200 yards to get nothing.
So how about lose a yard or 2 on the play?
In fact, he's shaken up.
And that's Tom Wilson, the trainer of Houston, is right on top of him, making sure that he's all right. Tom Wilson, someone's injured on the sidelines. Tom Wilson, a long-time trainer, right over the top of him. These trainers work with each other.
I believe it is Grovey, the man who was carrying the football, but we'll wait and check it out as soon as we get a better shot.
Well, take a look at the scrambling and run around he did. There he is right there at the end, unloading the pass. Gets a shot in the midsection there by number 44, Ryan McCoy.
He just had the wind knocked.
Well, he may have just had the wind knocked down. That's good if it's just something like that, because they certainly can ill afford to lose Grovey right now. Jack Crow coming over. Grovey is he's the injured player.
We'll take a break while they attend to the injured player, and with 11:53 to go in period 3, it is Houston 31, Arkansas 14. Next Saturday, Texas Tech's Red Raiders host the Texas Longhorns. Last year, Tech used a 64-yard punt return and a 65-yard pass bomb to upset the Longhorns in Austin 24-17, ending a 22-year losing streak at Memorial Stadium. Tune in next week to see if Tech can make it 2 straight against the Longhorns. Check your local listings for the day and time in your area. Quinn Grovey okay, but he has to come out for a play. Gary Adams is the quarterback on 3rd down and 10. Will be stopped short of the first down. Actually, it was 3rd and about 12. Following the loss, Ryan McCoy with the tackle, and Arkansas will have to give it up.
And Jerry Parks, I think, got shaken up on that play over there. He got up limping on the end of that play. What a time to be thrown in the ball game. 3rd down and 12, your first play of the game, facing an angry defense that wants to get after you.
So Houston will get it back. Parks apparently okay. He's going to drop back into his deep safety spot to receive the punt. And a punt will be coming off the foot of Arkansas's Gwen Ray Hines. 17-17. There's a nice high kick. Parks takes it at the 10. Make it the 11. 25, 30, 35, and he's up to the 39-yard line for actually Pat Burris, huh?
Boy, you don't really see a team do this very often, Greg, but that was a middle return that was set up by Houston. They had cross blocks by all the people coming back. A very difficult return to execute. It was definitely designed to go straight up the middle.
And we'll take a break. 10:57 to go in 3. It is Arkansas 31, Arkansas 14. By Parks, Ed Biles.
Well, watch this now. Looks it all the way in. Great concentration. Now he's going to run this up the middle. Look at the angle block. See the angle blocks coming in there? Very difficult to execute a middle return. Look at the red jerseys coming in there. That punt return team of Sanders, Leon, Gaston, Pardee, Russell, Muco, and Newhouse did an excellent job of setting those blocks up.
Texas A&M leading Rice 7-6 midway through the first quarter. Klingler, a lot of time. There's the arm. Brown almost wrestles it away, and if he'd made that catch, that would have been some catch because Pat Burris was right with him.
Oh, that ball was in the air some 65 yards. You don't find many quarterbacks that can air it out like that for 65 yards. What a great attempt to catch the ball. Look at this. He goes back and watch him trying to pick up the ball as he goes down. He's looking to maybe even continue to make the catch. John Brown.
He almost did. He almost pulled it off.
Well, look at that. That ball had a lot of velocity on it getting down there. John Brown, remembers, only junior. They've got him coming back. What a core of receivers they've got coming back next year.
You're going to see that streak pattern with him, too. We've talked about his speed. He transferred from Dodge City Community College. 2nd and 10. Flag. Ball is complete at the 45. It's a first down if it holds up to Manny Hazard, but there was a flag. Ben Floor with the tackle. Probably coming back, but we shall see.
Well, they had so much time in there. When you're doubling up on everyone, an umpire almost has to feel that you're holding if you got that much time in the pocket.
No. Different penalty.
Blocking below the waist, evidently. Let's see if we can pick it up. Oh, Witherspoon. Witherspoon, number 28. Look at the block. He went for the knee. One player. Good call by the official. Witherspoon going in to help him out. They had everybody doubled. Offensive tackle had a good up block, but now that makes a defensive lineman in a defenseless position.
Shot block. Offense. Repeat 2nd down.
And it's a good shot by our cameraman. That's just strictly legal. See what happens? That offensive tackle sets the guy up. He's fighting him. Now he's defenseless against a player coming in going for his knees, and that's a good rule that was put in a bunch of years ago, and you don't see that happen very often.
Huge penalty.
As it should be, Greg. That's one of those type of blocks that you can really hurt a guy's career by hitting his knee. And I don't think he went after him to hurt him. Definitely not try to hurt the person, but it's very tough from a defensive lineman standpoint to be faced with that type of block.
2nd and 28. TCU leading Baylor 3-0 in the first. Play across to the 42-yard line. Ben Floor with the tackle. That is what a passing offense can do for you. 2nd and 28, no problem. 1st and 28, no problem.
Same type of pattern that they threw for the touchdown down. Now watch him come down in the zone. Now the underneath people there you see the 3 deep people. Now the white jersey to your left is too far to the sideline. He's got to be more to the middle so he can close on the ball. The safety was too far to the other side. That allowed him to split the seams of the zone. You hear him talk about that? That was a great picture of what happens when you allow those 4 receivers to go right down through the middle like that.
Manny Hazard, All-American, getting the catch. Klingler on the delay to Witherspoon, and the spoon breaks forward to the 32-yard line. Ken Benson, the Wichita, Kansas senior, making the tackle on Witherspoon.
Well, right now, Greg, Arkansas has to give a little thought to maybe playing a little bit more aggressive defensively. They just can't sit back there and allow Houston to throw into the teeth of that zone, and then also allow Witherspoon to continue to run the ball. They had great success with early in the ball game. And this is the type of defense they've been playing all year, though, so probably too difficult for them to change and playing some pressurized man-to-man.
Illinois leading Wisconsin 14-0 in the second. Auburn 14, Mississippi State 3 in the second. Other scores: 3 wide receivers right side and a timeout called by Klingler. Wants to talk it over. The Cougars have 381 yards total offense to 208 for Arkansas at this point, and Houston leads at 31 to the Hogs 14. John Jenkins in his first year as head coach.
But Witherspoon now with that last carry, he's only 8 yards behind Earl Campbell for 5th place in the all-purpose yardage. So probably going to get that before this ball game is out. He's 102 yards behind Dickerson to move up to 4th place in it.
The crowd is spooning. That is the cheer in the background. When he gets the football, you hear spoon.
A smile on his face. He's up there negotiating again with the umpire who made that call. He always goes, talks to the officials. Look at the smile on his face. He knows he did wrong, but he didn't know what that official to call another penalty on. He's trying to win the officials over on his side.
That is a crack at Arkansas, of course, by Houston fans. The fact that in after next season, Arkansas moves on to the Southeastern Conference and will not be part of the Southwest Conference after being a charter member. Wide out to the top of the screen is number 4, Verlon Brown, and that may be true. It has not been discovered by all the fans in Houston, as you can tell by the crowd. Great fake again. Klingler up the middle. End zone incomplete. That time the coverage was there. Coming over to help out was Burris.
Another penalty on the play, Greg. Probably holding again. That's in the vicinity where they call holding.
That is the call. This time it does not hurt Houston in the sense that they didn't lose a play. It was an incomplete pass, but they will lose yardage. Texas 17, SMU nothing in the second quarter.
Holding. Offense. First down.
Watch Klingler now. Looks like he's been watching that television on Sunday. Look at the play-action fake he makes, just like you see old Boomer Esiason make for the Bengals. See him make that fake. Look how long he had the patience to hold it back there. Looks to his right, and he tries to come back to the left, split the seam of that zone again. Looks like those holding penalties about all starting to slow down Houston right now.
Oklahoma leading Colorado 7-6 in the second as the Wave.
How about that Rice score? Rice 6, A&M 7.
That's in the first. That was about midway through the first quarter, and they had both scored. Now, the Rice Owls, one of the more improved teams in college football. A record isn't going to put them in the elite, but they are giving everyone they play trouble, and they're beating some of them. It'll be first down and 20. Ball at the 43-yard line in Arkansas territory.
Well, you saw the officials moving with the ball. They had marked off too much yardage on that penalty. That's why they moved back 5 yards.
Last time the Cougars got themselves in a hole with a penalty, 1st and 28. They picked up over 30 on the first play on a pass to Hazard. He's going for all of them. End zone. Touchdown! Incredible catch for Marcus Grant. Oh, my!
And another receiver.
4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers, and Marcus Grant made an incredibly excellent catch.
And that's a 5'9", 165-pound sophomore out of Dallas Carter. That's a great catch, Greg. This is just a tremendous catch. 42 yards. He let him out there, and he knows he had the speed to go get it. And Klingler comes over and pats him. He knows that was a better catch than it was a pass.
Roman Anderson, Mr. Automatic, is, and with 9 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the third, Houston 38, Arkansas 14. My.
Well, take a look at the catch in the end zone. This is all this play is about. Look, he has to lay out in the air. And let me tell you, you have to realize how difficult that is. That ball was 42 yards. He laid out with it coming over one shoulder. Just very difficult to keep from not dropping the ball. Look at this angle. Now, how he hangs on to that. Watch him lay out here now. Get his fingers underneath it, looks it in. and held on to it when his body hit the ground. Just a great play by Marcus Grant.
Now, that's a 42-yard play, but that's to the goal line. He threw it 8 more, and then from where he threw it, he threw that ball maybe 60 yards, Ed.
Not much reaction. All he does is officiate after he throws those touchdown passes.
That ball had to be in the air nearly 60 yards.
Got the Cougar hand sign.
What an arm, and what a catch by Marcus Grant.
He cracked a little smile there. Haven't seen him do that.
4 touchdown passes for Klingler, and it's another big show. Halftime, 35-0 in Iowa over Northwestern.
The thing about these receivers, they all run hard because they know they're going to get the ball at times. Some teams, just 1 or 2 receivers are going to get the passes thrown. These guys know that they run hard. He will get the football to them.
Dallas Carter, his alma mater, and the kickoff at the 2 to Caldwell, and he'll be run out of bounds inside the 20. Jamie Mouton runs out along with help from Michael Newhouse, who is Ted Pardee.
Oh, yeah, it's fun to play on those special teams. You got to have something just maybe a little bit not quite right with you. There's Ted Pardee, Jack Pardee. So watch it. Boom, one guy's going to hit you there. That's a great play by Pardee. Now he's going to get over to the plate. He's got to hustle over that side, see if he can get into it. He's going to get hit again from there. Of course, he's one of their better special teams players. Did his job.
Backup middle linebacker and special teams star. Of course, son of last year's previous coach. Grovey rolls, throws a looper. It is caught by his tight end, Lindsey, and Lindsey gets up to the 30, pulls the defense down to about the 35-yard line. First down on a 15-yard pickup. Kenny Perry dragging along, and Tyler Muko putting him down. A scoring drive for Houston. Another quick one. 4 plays, 61 yards, 42 of them on 1 play to Marcus Grant.
Oh, they're starting to put up some yardage here now. There's over 423 yards of offense for Houston. And we've still got 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Did we say they started slow in the 1st quarter?
They did. They are not slow now. 38-14.
They don't have anybody out there covering them. They had to call timeout. They didn't have anyone out in the slot.
I'll tell you, it was pretty smart on the part of Jerry Parks. He said, wait a minute, I can't get 2 guys.
Yeah, I might be able to do a good job with 1, but not 2.
So Jerry Parks, the transfer from Oklahoma, calls timeout. Houston scoring on its last 5 possessions. They'll try defense when we return, leading by 38-14. 14 so far in the 3rd and lead it 38-14 after Arkansas ended the 1st quarter leading by 7, but Jack Pro's team has not been able to get it going. Houston rolling to a convincing yardage advantage as well. Quinn Grovey brings his team up to the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10.
Yeah, we've still got 8 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter.
E.D. Jackson. A gain of 4. Well, you know, it might be time for us to talk a little bit about the Houston defense, because that's another thing that has been evident in the last few weeks. Ryan McCoy and Trey Hooper making the tackle. They tend to get stronger in the 2nd half as well. They certainly did against Texas A&M in their big come-from-behind victory.
The interesting thing about their defense now, they only start 2 seniors, 3 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 4 freshmen are starting in this defense. So, again, they will continue to get better.
Caldwell wide to the top of the screen on the 2nd down. Grovey upfield. He's got Derek Russell. It's incomplete. That was a gamble by John Brown that he was going to be able to at least get a hand on it. And I think he maybe did. But it was a gambling play by Brown.
Well, it was a fine defensive play by John Brown. He was just running right behind him. Let you make his move when the ball is in the air. He was about 2 strides behind Russell when all of a sudden he realized I got to put up a little extra burst of speed. And he had that burst of speed to get up there and knock the ball down.
That is John W. Brown from Amarillo, Palo Duro, a high school freshman. He is a true freshman.
Well, if the coaches yell Brown on this team, they got a lot of people. John Brown, Verlin Brown, John Brown too. Browns come running when they yell.
3rd and 6. Grovey's in trouble, and he's sacked for the first time. Ryan McCoy, a freshman, true freshman, and Reggie Burnett, a true senior, teaming up on that one, the young and the old.
Well, you can just see Houston getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And the depth that we talked about and the things we pointed out at halftime, Greg, is beginning to show for Arkansas.
May have been a dead ball foul, too. There was a flag thrown.
Well, probably this was against Arkansas. There's going to be a little frustration start setting into Arkansas's players.
Well, if it was against Arkansas, it could have been a celebration violation, but we'll find out. Ryan McCoy, the Beaumont Central freshman, 6'3", 235, was a tight end and a good one in high school, as well as a defensive linebacker.
He's got a couple interceptions and a couple sacks and recovered a fumble already this year for a freshman. That's pretty good productivity.
At the moment, it's 3rd and 6, but we'll have to see what the flag was all about. Yeah, it was against Houston. And, well, both teams, forget it.
Offsetting, probably dead ball foul, 4th down. You can see a little frustration will have to be setting in with Arkansas. They've had, they had their problems the last 4 weeks. Texas beat them 49. Texas Tech scored 49 on them, and TCU scored 54. And they're faced right now with a 38. What do we? Well,
now wait. Do they have to market both? I didn't hear the second explanation. He must have changed his mind. Because now it is a 1st down for Arkansas.
Well, maybe he'll give us a signal.
Okay, it was in the order. Now they're going to move it back. They got enough for the 1st down.
Contact foul. Offense, it'll be 1st and 25.
Okay, they got enough. We had something similar to this last weekend. They got enough for the 1st down, so they had to move the ball, and then they moved it back. The moving it gave them the 1st down, and then moving it back makes it 1st and 25.
Well, if they called, I thought they called dead ball foul against both players. You mean one hit one sooner and the other came back later? I mean,
that's the thing I can figure. I mean,
Jenkins is unhappy with this situation. Arkansas is going to wind up with a 1st down. I'm not quite sure.
They must have been 2 separate incidents.
They obviously didn't make a 1st down on the play. They were sacked for a loss by McCoy and Burnett. He's evidently happy with the explanation. Now we're going over to the other side, and maybe they've put some ejections on this play.
We had one real similar to that in our game last week, the Baylor-Texas A&M game, in which they marked it off both ways, and we had trouble figuring out why it was 1st and 25, and it was almost exactly the same rule.
Well, I guess we better study the rule book on this, because usually dead ball fouls are against, hard to think one is sooner than the other.
There are differences, of course. I'll tell you, that is one of the problems with football, is that every year they change rules.
Well, that's where the officials can justify their job. The rule book writers, they write new rule books.
And then you go years without seeing a particular call, and you're wrong. That ball is incomplete. On Grovey's attempt to Tracy Caldwell.
Well, I know one thing. 1st and 25, the offensive coaches for Jack Crow, J.B. Grimes is offensive line coach, and Ken Rucker coaches the running backs, and Charlie Weatherby the quarterback coach. There's not many 1st and 25 calls in your repertoire.
Now, there has to be, as I say, there has to be a rule, and I know there's going to be an official out there that's just cringing to get to the telephone right now, but there's got to be a rule out there which specifically states how you mark it off on plays like that when there are double dead ball fouls, and I'm sure the officials were absolutely correct. It is 2nd down. And E.D. Jackson just carries it out to about the 38. Eric Blunt with the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down and a whole bunch. 3rd and maybe 18, 19.
That sophomore is going to be a good linebacker for Houston. He's only 215 pounds, but he has great quickness.
3rd and 22 officially. It is understated, perhaps not stated enough, that to be a good run-and-shoot football team, you need to have a very good defense. And Houston had it the 2 years prior to this. They look like they are developing one this year, although it is a young defense. Grovey is in trouble. He should get rid of it, and he does, and it's incomplete. Threw it away. They'll give it away now. Reggie Burnett.
That looked like a little dance between Burnett and Grovey. I'll go one way, I'll go the other way, we'll go back. But finally, Grovey got outside of it. That's a good job by Burnett, though. He really was buying time to get some help.
There's a couple guys that have been chasing each other up and down the field for 4 years. They're both seniors, Reggie Burnett and Quinn Grovey. And now it's 4th down and 22. Miami 45, Texas Tech 3 in the 4th quarter.
Well, they didn't get shut out, Tech.
Yeah. Parks, 25. Straight up the middle. It's a foot race for Parks. The punter can't catch him. Can he cut outside? Jerry Parks inside the 20 at about the 14-yard line. Pat Burris finally got an angle on him.
Well, Greg, you got to give Tommy Kaiser, the special teams coach of Houston, a little credit for these last two returns. This again was a middle return. They must have spotted something on Arkansas's punt coverage, because you just designed punt returns in the middle. They're hard to execute. Two perfect examples of how they do. Watch the outside blocks as he comes up the middle. Everything, he's coming right up to the middle with all the white jerseys to the outside. Now it's the footwork. Of course, Parks breaks one tackle there behind the punter. Finally gets knocked out of bounds, but he puts him down in great field position. That's two super punt returns. Tommy Kaiser had spent some overtime on the films.
Jerry Parks, the transfer from Oklahoma after sitting out a year. Witherspoon, touchdown Houston.
Another different receiver for a touchdown.
That's 5 touchdown passes for Klingler, 5 different receivers. And Houston is past the 40-point mark. 44-14 over Arkansas, and we're still in the third quarter. And the extra point is yet to come. Now 8 yards.
Look at that smile on his face. Look at that smile. You know, he's got to be a happy-go-lucky type you want to be around. He's always got a little smile on his face.
From La Habra, California, Chuck Witherspoon. And Anderson's extra point is right there. 6 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the third quarter. Houston has exploded for 21 points in the period and leads Arkansas 45-14.
Well, you don't see many football teams on 6 consecutive possessions put points on the scoreboard, but that's exactly what's happened here. The last 6 times they've had their hands on the ball, they certainly have dissected Arkansas's defense now. He's just rolling out to his right. 2 receivers downfield, went on down in the end zone. Of course, Witherspoon's going to take it right in there. He knows where that pay dirt is. Wiggle those hips a little bit. I've been there before. I'll just drop it. I don't have to put on a big show.
Okay, now, Ed, if you're a quarterback and you complete 5 out of 9 passes, that's pretty good, right? How about if you complete 5 of your last 9 completions for touchdowns? That's what he's done. His last 9 completions, 5 have gone for touchdowns.
It's very difficult for people to understand it. The numbers are mind-boggling what they're doing with this offense. There he's posing right now in the Southwest Conference. Just one ahead of Earl Campbell into 5th place. Closing in on Eric Dickerson. He's 88 yards to catch up with Dickerson. Whether he gets it today or not, we don't know. But he's certainly well within reach of getting up into that 3rd or number 2 spot.
The Cougars and the Razorback mascots together. The crowd is
chanting SEC.
I'll tell you, Arkansas has had to go through that all year, and the fact that they're having a tough year has really been joyous to some fans in the Southwest Conference. They'll yell SEC to them every time they see them play. It's Caldwell as he gets up to the 22-yard line. And, of course, the irony of that, too, Ed, is when Arkansas played Mississippi in their first game this year, Mississippi was saying welcome to the SEC as they won the game. So you can't win, I guess.
Yeah, that's all part of the game. But I'll tell you something. Jack Crow will get the program going. They went through the same thing at Arkansas when Richardson came in as a basketball coach. The very first year, adjustment for the coaches, adjustment to different coaching styles, giving you a chance to recruit and get some of your own players. Lost a lot of players here for a lot of various different reasons. Jack Crow's a quality guy and a quality coach. He's been handling this situation exceptionally well. I think the Arkansas people have been handling it well.
7-second drive, if you want to call it a drive. 1 play. It is first down for Grovey. Russell. They gave Russell some room, and he gets up to the 34. That'll be a first down, I believe. Ryan McCoy with the stop. 14-12. Texas A&M leads Rice now with 46 left in the second quarter. That game is surprisingly close early.
And at this point, Houston's done a good job with Russell. He's only had 3 catches for 34 yards. You may get a few more here, but one of the early things they were concerned about was stopping Russell.
And they're giving him some room now as he gets a nice catch up the middle for the first down across midfield out of the 46.
Well, Houston's defense now with a 45-14 lead, knowing that their offense can continue, is playing a rather conservative zone. They're almost playing the same type of zone that Arkansas has been playing most of the game.
Now, this is the one difference with Arkansas.
Arkansas going without the no-huddle offense now, Greg, and they came back against Texas Tech with 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Well, this is the big change in this club. There may be a lot of areas where they're weaker, but not in this part of the game. They do play the quick game and the passing game much better. Bevel is the man on the tackle of Aaron Jackson as he banks him out of bounds after no gain. Arkansas does have that capability that they had not always shown, the ability to come from behind.
That's the special team players there getting a little TV time, Jack. Ted Pardee, number 32.
Problem that Arkansas has is they've had to play this come from behind offense too much this year, because the defense has given up a lot of points, not just to Houston, but to most teams they've played. Second down and 11. Grovey on the pitch, last second. Jackson, nice pitch, nice timing. Jackson for the first down inside the 35 to the 34. Kenny Perry runs him out, and Arkansas has a drive going with 5:27 to go in the third quarter. Houston leading 45-14.
Oh, excellent execution of the option play. Again, Grovey handling that ball till right at the end to make the pitch out there to Aaron Jackson. Watch him wait till the last possible minute before he unloads and gets hit. He knows he's going to get hit. Makes the pitch out to Aaron Jackson, who now reduces speed to go to the sideline, turns it upfield, and made the first down on excellent running.
Jackson again, and he's tripped up by Bevel as he got to the 45 or 35-yard line. Bevel, the junior from Jasper, Texas. Short gain on the play, making it second down.
Mixed that little sprint draw in there. We came back deep in the backfield and handed off.
245-pound James Bevel. He'll be back next year. On the next play, Grovey unloads it incomplete to Jackson. Good timing on the tackle there by check that. That's John Brown. John W. Brown, the freshman from Amarillo, Palo Duro.
Well, he hasn't been playing like a freshman today.
Cougars have had some injury problems. One of them is Zach Chapman.
Just great coverage. He's right overhead. Good timing. And Zach it up to make the tackle just as the ball got there.
I was just going to say it. Zach Chapman would have been playing in front of John Brown, but Zach is out. Cornerback Tyrone Davis also out with a knee injury. A lot of opportunities on third down.
Quarterback draw.
And they're going to have another first down. So they're going to be 6 out of 14. They were very effective early in the game. 3 of their first 5. Then they ran into a dry spell. And it looks like he got it by about a yard. Kenny Perry with the stop.
He goes back. This is design draw all the way. Goes back. Now comes up the middle. Because all the receivers are split out wide. Usually run that from the one remaining back formation to split the defensive secondary wide. Then look for a gap up the middle.
First down. Grovey trips and falls. The pressure was applied by Reggie Burnett, and that's all it took for him to lose his balance.
Burnett says, gotcha. Finally got him. He's been chasing him around all day. Finally got him. Got his 12th sack of the year with that play. Let you come in and hurdle the block. This is really difficult to do. A lot of athletic ability. Let you go over the top of the blocker right there. Bounce around. Can't get his hands on him.
Incomplete up the middle, intended on a crossing pattern to Russell. That sack, by the way, by Burnett was the second of the game, and Reggie comes from a place that has supplied a noted University of Houston athlete of the past, Rayville, Louisiana, the home of Elvin Hayes.
I was just going to say, I bet it's a basketball player.
It's the Big E. There's Reggie.
Hey, he's been chasing Grovey around all day. He's got to be a little bit tired. I don't care how great a condition you're in.
Georgia Tech 48, Duke 31, a final. Receivers got crossed and Smith, Demetrius Smith, I should say, making the catch from Grovey.
Well, that was 3rd down and 19 play that they picked up, hitting him right across the middle. Good protection was the key. Had time to sit back in the pocket, look the field over. Smith coming in the middle, missed tackle there, allowed him to pick up enough yardage for the 1st down.
So the Hogs keep the drive alive. Grovey, Ron Dickerson. Dickerson cuts inside the 5-yard line. Brought down by Jerry Parks. Dickerson, I think that's only his first carry. His dad, the assistant coach at Penn State. Larry Coyer, the defensive coordinator for Houston, looking on, trying to stop this drive if he can. Cougars have a player down.
Well, Kenny Houston, the defensive secondary coach, has to be pleased with the way his secondary played today, along with Fitzpatrick and Ben Hurt, the defensive line coaches.
Parks is the player down.
Well, they can ill afford to lose any more of their secondary folks. We've got a tough ball game next week against TCU right here in the Dome.
Wrist or arm, it appears. Well, maybe not. I'm not sure why they cut something away from his arm and then they pulled him up by the arm. But that's what they did. He's going to come off at least for a while. This telecast is authorized under rights granted to Prime Network and is not intended for the commercial use of our viewing audience. Any reproduction or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of Prime Network and the University of Houston is prohibited.
Baylor's ahead of TCU, Greg, 14-6, I think, in the 2nd quarter.
45-14. Washington leading Cal 3-0 in the 1st. Houston leading Arkansas here, but Arkansas with a 2nd and 1. Actually less than that. They got enough. Matika and Eric Blunt teaming up on the stop. Jack Crow looking on to make sure his team gets some points out of this drive. There's the 1st down inside the 5.
Good offensive line surge by Arkansas and good strong leg running in there by Price to pick up that 1st down. Good effort extra. They're continuing to fight.
He's a big guy, 220 pounds. Now Grovey will drop back. Here comes Muko. And Muko can't get him. Grovey's still rolling, still looking. Touchdown to the tight end, Lindsey. Lindsey's had a couple of catches in this game, only 5 now for the year. Of course, that name may be familiar for football fans. His dad, Jim, was an ex-Arkansas and Minnesota Viking star. He lives in Fayetteville, and Lindsey gets the touchdown, making it 45-20.
Well, he just bought time on his own scrambling around. That's exactly what a scrambling quarterback can do for you. You wear a lot of folks out. Those linemen and linebackers are chasing you all day long. They lose a little bit. You talk about the run and shoot, tiring out people. A little bit scrambling quarterback does the same thing.
They'll go for a couple. Texas A&M now leading Rice 17-12 in the 2nd. Flag on the play. Pass incomplete, but a flag was thrown. We may get it over. We'll find out. Could be pass interference on the Cougars.
Probably defensive holding, maybe, where he threw it.
Nope, going to be worse. Offside. 5 yards or half the distance, and they'll get another try at it.
Well, instead of going from the 3, they'll go from the 1.5. And they have
Defense, replay the try.
They have moved the ball over to the left hash mark to give them room to work all the way out to the right side here. In most cases, you see a roll out to the right side to give the quarterback the option of going a lot of ways, and also the ball moved over to the left hash mark.
45-10 now. Miami's lead over Texas Tech in the 4th. It's a 2-point conversion try, and Grovey's going to run it in without anybody laying a finger on him. Well, they set it up right. And so 2 points on the board makes it 45-22 in favor of the Houston Cougars. Cougars will be receiving the kickoff from Arkansas. And here's the touchdown that preceded the 2-point conversion.
Well, all set up by the scrambling. Goes one way, breaks a tackle there, now comes out another way, breaks another tackle. People chasing him all over, but he's looking for someone to work to get open in the end zone. And that's exactly what Lindsey did. He worked himself to get open to the back of the end zone. Secondary-wise, very difficult to stay with the receivers all the way down in the end zone when your quarterback gets that much time.
Now, at this moment, and I say at this moment because we still got 3:28 to go in the 3rd, and and it's not over, even though Houston has a big lead. Last year's game had a lot of points. As Ed indicated, Arkansas has had a ability to come from behind and score a lot of points late. But at this point, you got to think, where would this Arkansas team have been without Quinn Grovey? Because he has been the story offensively.
Well, he had a great season for him. We're still going to see a lot of scoring in this ballgame because they can draw back on that experience they had against Tech, where they scored 21 and just came up one play short of maybe winning the game in the fourth quarter.
Now, Houston has been able to run back kickoffs and punts for good yardage. Tracy Good is in the center of the screen. Cody Smith top of the screen on the kick, and Cody Smith will take it at the 3. In fact, he knocked Good out of the way.
Everybody wants to handle the football.
He only gets it up to the 14, and Good saying, hey, I could have done better than that.
Good sitting back on the 1-yard line after the play was over. He took the ball away, probably knocked him down. Good said, wait a minute, I want my chance.
Chapman and McCoy making the tackle.
Watch it over here. See Good come over. There he goes down. Now he just sits there and watches the play develop.
The ball's on the 14. Where Houston will put it in play. They've had a 93-yard drive. They have 437 yards total offense to 303 for Arkansas. The first down's pretty even. The Cougars have 23 and the Hogs 20, but the Cougars have scored quick. 5 touchdown passes in his last 9 completions. 5 different receivers. Well, that was over the head of Manny Hazard, out of bounds, incomplete.
He said that wasn't any fun to throw a short one like that. Let's go for the deep ball. That's incredible. 5 touchdown passes out of his last 9 passes. Now 10 now, but going into that play. Shakes his head a little bit. He knew he didn't execute the way he wanted to. But look at those eyes. See the excitement in those eyes. You can almost see the great concentration he has as you look at those eyes. Pretty good stats. 24 for 36. 5 touchdowns. That's the key.
Weatherspoon gets about 5. Oklahoma leading Colorado 14-12 at halftime. Other scores. Short pickup of perhaps, well, for him it seems like it's short. Actually, a pickup of 5 is a pretty good pickup.
Yeah.
But Weatherspoon gets twice that many so often that 3rd down and 5. 4.5. He's got a safety valve. He's got everybody. Weatherspoon just circling. He's looking for something better, and he throws it in the ground. Well, there's a case where Klingler made the wrong decision. He had Weatherspoon. It was going to be no sweat for a first down, but he was looking for something even better.
Well, Cooper was wide open, too. I think he just he threw a bad pass. I guess you're allowed to do that once in a while. Throw as much as he does. That just was a poorly thrown ball. He'll be the first one to admit it.
But
Cooper
now that's a good deal for Arkansas, because they'll get the football now, and they'll get pretty good field position. Langston will punt to get the kick away from about his own 10. Arkansas scored in its last drive. They push one in here, and then watch out.
That's the one thing about the run and shoot. They don't take a lot of time off the clock.
Kick is away. High kick. Peavy will take it at about the 36. It'll be dropped at the 37. That was Kirk Russell.
So that was a fine play by Kirk Russell. Excellent coverage.
The return yardage, and that has been a story in the game. Arkansas gets 1 yard on that one, and Houston has been able to return punts for big yardage.
Well, you get 3 reels of tape after the game is over. 1 for offense, 1 for defense, and 1 for special teams. That yardage counts, adds up to touchdowns and plays.
Rory with the eye. The 2 Jacksons in the backfield. Now Russell in motion. E.D. Jackson straight up the middle for about a yard. Muko in on the play. First man to get him was Hooper. Hooper from Mineral Wells, Texas. A science major.
He's played a good football game. He's played well interiorly.
270-pounder. Second down, Grovey. So has the ball. Good catch by Russell as he was jumbled around as soon as he caught it. Kenny Perry, and it's a first down.
You know, the way teams can throw the ball and do things, a 23-point lead sometimes doesn't make you feel secure.
I'm sure it doesn't make the Houston Cougars feel secure because there's a lot of time left, and Grovey can throw the football. There's Jackson on a fumble, but it's going to be out of bounds. It'll be retained by Arkansas. That would have been a tough break for the Razorbacks. Perry couldn't get to it before it went out.
Use that left hand to put it out there. That was a good pitch. Actually, Jackson just didn't look the ball all the way in. There was nothing wrong with the pitch. That was Jackson's fault for not following the ball all the way in. He wanted to look downfield and see if he could make some yards.
2nd and 10. Ball on the 48. Minute 44 to go in the third quarter. Houston on top, 45-22. Grovey is sacked. And there's Reggie Burnett, the 3rd sack of the club, 2nd for Reggie.
Boy, he's being rewarded for just hustle all the way. Watch how he works. Gets around the blocker, now has to hustle back up in the pocket to get Groovy for his 2nd sack, which gives him 13 for the year.
3rd and 12, ball at midfield. Double clutch. Right through the defense, and Sanders, Derek Russell gets the catch. Kenny Perry on the tackle. That was a well-thrown ball. This again makes my point when I say that Grovey, if there's one area he's improved over 4 years, this is it. He can throw the football with zip.
Throws off that front foot, really delivers the ball, gets it down in there to Russell. Of course, Russell continued to get open in that zone.
The other thing Grovey did, you know, in spring training, he didn't work on any running plays at all. He didn't work the option at all. All he did was work on throwing the ball. And it's paid off. Unfortunately, they've not had the running attack. 6 catches for 86 yards for Russell. What a game. First down. Screen left side of the tight end. This one went for big yardage earlier, and it's doing it again, and it's going to go for a touchdown. But a second time, this time Lindsey goes in. The screen to the tight end, and here come the Razorbacks.
Back-to-back touchdowns for Lindsey. Screen back over to the left side. You see when he catches the ball, watch the blockers out in front of him. See number 72 there, Flores, coming down, throws a block, takes 1 step to the outside. Of course, Todd Gifford, the guard, was out in front of him. The senior linebacker did a good job utilizing his blockers when they got downfield.
Going for 2 again. It is 45-28. Incomplete, almost picked off. Rice got a hand on it. Russell couldn't recover, so the 2-point conversion fails, and Houston leads it 45-28. We've still got a minute to go in the third quarter. Last year's game was 45-39, and we are headed for a lot more points than that with 1 minute to play in period 3. Michigan leads Indiana 7-0 in the first as we continue to take a look at some of the other college football action coming your way. Florida State 42, LSU 3, a final. Right here it's 45-28. Georgia Tech 48, Duke 31, a final. I think we gave you that one earlier. Houston with 443 yards. Arkansas not that far behind now, 366. Lindsey, a 245-pound junior from Fayetteville. Dad Jim, ex-pro footballer and ex-Arkansas great. Houston will get the football back, seeing if they can get a drive together. They haven't had to go real far in their last couple of drives because they've gotten such great position after kick returns, punt returns. But they had to give up the ball last time, and Arkansas took straightaway advantage of it. Here's the kick. Good says, I got this one this time at the 10. Uses his blocker well, gets that side to the 34-yard line before he's run out of bounds. So Houston will have a little better field position this time. When Ray Hines with the kickoff and the tackle.
Hey, that's right. Watch this hit by Hines over here, right there. Laid out.
He didn't even need to do it. He was already out of bounds, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
Come on, David.
Auburn 14, Mississippi State 10 at the half. Houston will have the football now, first down. Glenn Ray Hines, Houston native, A-Leaf Hastings High School. Of course, the sprinter family, speedy one. Oklahoma 14, Colorado 12 at the half as we get set as Klingler instructing his receivers as to what's coming. Holds his balance. He ought to run here. Oh, my goodness, look at the arm. And who's got it? Somebody's got it.
Interception.
Interception. Ben Floor just took it away. Well, with all the praise has to come the second guessing. I think there's a couple of plays now in a row that Klingler has made bad decisions.
Well, sometimes you score easy. Now, again, he threw off the back foot, jumping in the air, and didn't really have enough on it. If he continued and maybe planted and thrown the ball, Floor comes down with it, and there's a battle for the ball, but Floor comes up with it. Now, if Alexander had hung in there, simultaneous catch would go to the offense, but Floor wrestled it away from him. Now, if Arkansas goes down and scores, could become interesting.
Yeah, the key now for Houston is the defense has to buckle down. They were playing soft on one drive that we assumed they were doing in part because of the score, but then the second drive they were scored on, so you have to buckle the helmets on tight. The Razorbacks are coming. Screen pass. Edie Jackson covered by Burnett. Loss on the play. Reggie Burnett.
What do you think Frank Broyles and Darrell Royal think about these kind of scores in the Southeastern Conference?
Well, it's not the way they played it. A lot of reasons for it. One is the limitation on scholarships requires you to not just play muscle football. You have to be more varied because you can't just muscle it anymore. There's going to be very close to a first down on the play as Caldwell gets it out to about the 24-yard line. They have to get right at the 25 for the first down. Well, it's going to be short. They mark it actually back to about the 22 and a half.
Yeah, what the officials test.
That's the end of the quarter, so we'll move it all the way down to the other end of the field after 3. Houston 45, Arkansas 28.
During my football career, I used surgical tubing to help me keep in shape. It was a perfect way to shape and tone because it provided just the right resistance. Well, today, there's something even better. Power bands, the fast, fun way to tone and firm your hips, thighs, and stomach. Power bands are the perfect way to get and stay in shape in the comfort of your own home while reading, watching TV, or on the phone. Power bands come with an easy-to-follow 30-minute demonstration and workout video. You also get this handy wall chart featuring 15 descriptive pictures and step-by-step instructions. I'm so sure that you'll continue to use my power band that they come with a full 90-day guarantee. Hey, if I didn't think power bands were great, I wouldn't put my name on it. Joe Namath, Power Bands.
I'm from a town where things are as good as they come. And it's pictured in my mind just as clear as the midday sun. Now I'm out here in the darkness and the rain is coming down. Never was like this in my hometown, it's not like this, but that's all right with me. See, I'm out here from my home.
for Arkansas because the field position they're in, they have to give it up if they don't get the first down. But they have been on a roll scoring their last 2 possessions. 3rd and 2 at the 23. Jackson is stopped in his tracks. Actually, a loss on the play by Jason Youngblood, and so Arkansas will have to give the ball away.
Oh, I think they'll punt this one, Greg. I don't think they'll go for it here. They are really backed up deep in their own territory. He's thinking about it over there, though. Here's the replay, just an inside play to the veer handoff, veer option type play, but he thought about going for it.
He did. Now, the key here for Arkansas is their special teams have to cover this. This is what has killed them. Punt returns.
2 middle punt returns. They got great yardage on. They allow him to get good punt return here. Houston will have tremendous field position.
Yeah, this doesn't even have to be a good punt return. If he just catches it at fair catch, it's midfield unless he really booms one. And it's going to be fair caught, no return, but right near midfield at the 46-yard line, Jerry Parks. First down for Houston.
And that was a key 3rd down play back there. They had come roaring back and got themselves somewhat back in the ball game until we're obviously still trailing by 17 points, but they picked that up and gone down into score. But now forced to punt. Houston gets the ball almost near midfield.
Let me talk about the last 2 Houston possessions. They had to give it up. I made the comment that I think bad decisions by Klingler. The first time he looked like he was looking for something better than what he had, and he threw a bad pass. They had to kick it away. Last time, same thing. He could have run for 5 or 6, gone out of bounds untouched, and they could have still had the football. The theory with a lot of the coaches as we get set for the play is, as the give gives to Witherspoon, the theory that John Jenkins will say is that you can't stop the run and shoot, but it can stop itself.
Well, sometimes what happens, Greg, if you all of a sudden you start having success throwing the ball deep. Early part of the ball game, they were having content with pick and Fred moved downfield. Then all of a sudden, boom, he gets 5 quick touchdown passes. And I think his mentality got into that way rather than stand and go back and say, hey, let's just pick them apart a little bit and I'll pick up some first downs and set them back up again.
2nd down, 10, no gain on that play. Nice catch, and it's short of a first down, but it was a good catch reaching by Marcus Grant.
And that's where they're back to what they were doing early in the ball game, setting those touchdown passes up on just a sideline route here. Good catch. Went up, looked that ball in, got the foot down, of course, got another foot down before he stepped out of bounds.
Came into this game with 24 receptions, has a touchdown catch today. His 2nd of the year. 5'9", 165-pounder from Dallas Carter. Klingler from Houston Stratford High. Witherspoon rambles, and he's got the first down. He needed to get to about the 43. It looks like the 42. Well, they're going to spot the ball. Yeah, he's got it by about a yard. Pick up of 4 by Witherspoon.
Oh, he just did a nice job of making a little break back to the left side to pick up the hole, to pick up the first down. And I think you're going to see Houston right now kind of pick a little bit, try to just get the short completions and see if they can move it down and move it into the end zone.
3 wide receivers to the left. He's got a man open, and that's Good, and Good catches the ball and gets about 8 to the outside. Now, David makes the stop. That was a perfect example. Fans in the stands, and perhaps you could catch it on the screen. He's just a safety valve. Good's just going out on the flat. He's just waiting there in case they have to use him.
Well, he's reading what's happening downfield, so you can see Good swinging out to your right there on film. The other folks are coming down. There's one curling in the middle of the zone there. He takes a good look at him with the idea of maybe getting it there. So he had 3 people on the right-hand side of the screen there working against that zone. One short, one's intermediate, one is deep.
2nd and 2. Ball at the 36. Witherspoon. I don't know how he did that. He's got the first down, and he gets inside to the 31. This is a guy that weighs 205 or 210, 15 pounds, 5'7". He just stops immediately and moves.
Watch the block by Klingler when he decides to go back. Klingler standing over there watching the play. The watch he's come out. Watch Klingler throw a block right there. Lowered his body, put it down, got underneath the defensive linebacker Ken Benson, and that's what allowed him to pick up the first down.
16 carries, 111 yards on the ground for Witherspoon. Oh. Klingler will run this time and go out of bounds. Leroy Truitt.
Well, he had plenty of time to make a decision here. 3 receivers out to the right side. That's where he originally, as he rolls out to the, now he decides that's the end of the play where he decides to go back to his left and says, well, I'll just pick up some yardage here and see if I can pick up enough for the first down.
New set of receivers in, among them Cody Smith, number 9. Weatherspoon gets something that wasn't maybe there. Got about 3 yards on the play. And Shannon Wright, Ken Benson teaming up on the stop.
And of course, the thing they're doing right now, they're using a little time off that clock. If anything, such of a time of clock drive for Houston, this is about as close as you're going to see them do it, where they're throwing the short passes and using Weatherspoon running the ball.
There's a flag down. He's got the first down, and he bells forward to about the 11, but there was a flag thrown right into the line. Curtis Banks on the stop.
Well, they've had a lot of holding calls on in this game. On a running play.
Back it up. 11:54 to go. It is Houston 45-28. We had 35 points scored in the third quarter. 21 by Houston, 14 by Arkansas.
All offensive coaches.
Repeat third down.
All offensive line coaches go crazy when a third down in one situation the Fisher calls a holding call, because all those offensive linemen are moving either to their left or to their right, going straight ahead. And as they fire out once in a while, their hands will get entwined. It really isn't a hold, but the umpires invariably will call that a lot of times on that situation.
3rd and 11. To the end zone, good.
Intercepted
in the end zone by Michael James, the Pine Bluff, Arkansas junior, his 2nd interception of the year. And that blunts the Cougar drive, and Arkansas is still very much alive. They'll get the ball out on the 20-yard line, and we'll take a timeout with 11 minutes and 33 seconds to play. It is Houston 45, Arkansas 28. 11:33 to play. The turnover here, the 2nd interception that Klingler has tossed. This was a great play by Michael James.
Well, they've gone to well quite often with this play, trying to split the seams of the zone, but you know, Arkansas finally been burning up with it that they decided, let's sit back and wait for this pattern and get over there and make that interception. Good play by James.
So the Cougar defense is called upon to stymie Arkansas once again, as Arkansas scored a couple of touchdowns, 2 of their last 3 possessions, but had to punt the last time. Grovey gets it away, and it's incomplete, intended for Russell. Russell was there, but the pass was a little behind. He had to get rid of it quickly because he was about to get decked, which he did, by Perry and Burnett.
I'll tell you one thing, Burnett and Grovey have gotten to know each other a little bit today.
Now, they played against each other for 4 years.
Watch Grovey come from the backside. Watch him deliver and hit him just as he unloads the ball. Grovey gets back up, though, back in huddle, ready for the next play.
2nd and 10, leaving the lineup, Botkin and Lindsey.
Now, Burnett doesn't look big, but he's a 240-pounder.
Aaron Jackson, first down. And more, across to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 15. Jerry Parks finally making the tackle. Aaron Jackson, a senior from Denison, Texas.
Well, good draw action here. Watch the draw, sprint draw, go anywhere he wants. Sees a hole right up the middle.
Ooh, how could he not see that one?
Boy, Eric Costello did a good job with the lead block on the linebacker.
Aaron, a Denison, Texas senior, as we said, he was a defensive player a year ago. Moved him back over when they were shorter running backs. Burnett again gets to Grovey, and he has to throw it away.
So they help each other up. They know it's going to be every play. Grovey helps Burnett, and Burnett helps Grovey up.
Kind of holding hands there at the end. They're getting too familiar with each other. 45-28 is the score. Houston, it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Burnett again chasing him around. Very difficult to block him with his speed and quickness. Forces Grovey to throw the ball out of bounds and away.
And Jack Crow making a great catch.
Yeah, completion to Coach Crow. He said, I'm not eligible anymore. I've used my eligibility up.
Tell you what, you talk about Jack Crow, Arkansas fans, be patient. This guy has a great background. He has worked with some top programs, including Arkansas's. There's a gain short for about a yard or two. Hooper and Bevel teaming up to stop Edey.
Well, you're back to that same situation. Arkansas is going to have a chance to get back in the game. They have to start picking these third down plays up.
Come on, defense!
3rd and 8. Caldwell for the first down. Caldwell with just a quick slant in front of Parks and the safety. John Brown finally making the tackle, but Arkansas holds on to the ball and keeps moving it with 10:29 to play.
Well, they've got to get underneath help on this play. The corners and safeties can't make that play. The linebacker has to realize a 3rd and 10. Don't go for the little play action rollout fake. Step back in there and get underneath that play.
Knocked away, incomplete. Burnett was coming, but that time he was dumped. Bevel was the man who got a hand on the ball. Nice block that time. Edey Jackson stayed in the backfield, kept Burnett from getting through.
Well, they had a little stunt that time. I think Burnett was coming inside, and Bevel was going to work around him to the outside in case he lost containment. That gentleman right there is a recruiting coordinator for the Houston Cougars, Bruce Davis, in the blue jacket. He's responsible for getting into those high schools and finding out who can and who can't.
Texas leading SMU 31-0 in the 3rd. Screen dropped. Well, he got himself all turned around. Looked like Edey Jackson was just off balance and not squared away to catch that ball. Daniel Johnson was nearby, but Edey could have caught it.
Yeah, that was more like a regular screen where he goes right back in that pocket and throws it to one side. Had great success with the screen where he rolls out and comes back the other way. The second time Grovey's throwing this type of screen and says, darn it. Well, we needed to make another play here.
It's been that kind of a year. He's done his part, but not always as everyone else. Halftime, Oklahoma 14, Colorado 12. 31-12 now. A&M starting to roll over Rice. That's in the 2nd quarter. Catch by Russell. It is close to a first down. Depends on where they mark it.
They're going to give him full.
I think he got it.
He had the first down. Boy, great play by Russell. Right in the pocket, coming across the middle. Know he's going to get hit. Watch him go up and catch the ball right there. Ball thrown a little bit behind him. That's a great catch. Difficult. You're going one way, and you got to reach behind to catch the ball. Know you're going to get hit.
He's had 2 like that where he's had to go backwards and he's pulled them off. 97 yards in reception, 7 catches. That gives him 36 for the year. Boy, she'd be a scary date.
Halloween?
We got vampires on the Cougar sideline. Well, they're out for blood, I guess, but right now they better watch out because Arkansas is coming. Razorbacks have sharp teeth. Aaron Jackson, first down as he's inside the 30-yard line. Aaron Jackson turns the corner. Kenny Perry knocks him off his pins.
Amazing the way the momentum of this game is shifted here in the 4th quarter, Greg.
They got Perry down on the sideline. You're absolutely right. Perry is being looked at. Well, they get the ball in here, and they're down by just 10 with a single point extra point. Sure thing. Well, we'll take a timeout while Kenny Perry is attended to with 9:32 to play in the ball game. Houston 45, Arkansas 28. Incomplete. That was intended for Caldwell. That's going to be an ankle. Well, that
was a good play. They just put Jamie Mouton in there at the cornerback position, moving Parks back to the safety from the Perry standpoint. Mouton did an excellent job of coverage on that play. Well, they'll tape off and
take a look at it.
That's not blood. That red is just tape, Cougar tape.
2nd down and 10. The ball on the 28. Blitz. They don't get through. Intercepted by Jimmy Mouton, who just came into the ball game for Kenny Perry. Oh.
Well, what a great play by Mouton, coming in there off the bench cold like that, stepping in, making an interception, and the players on the sideline know how important that was. They really reward him with a big hug.
You know, what's interesting about Mouton is you see him step in front of, he just cut off the route. He didn't let Russell get to the ball. He just said, it's mine.
Or maybe he's been sitting on that sideline seeing him throwing that route, that little slant route. And of course, that's only the second interception in Grovey has thrown. First time they had the ball through the interception, Parks took in for the touchdown. Now he's gone all the while without throwing another interception.
Interesting thing about Mouton is he comes in here on defense because of the injury to Perry. Last year he played offense because of a number of injuries in the offensive receiving corps, so he knows how to take advantage of his spots. Weatherspoon up across the 20 to about the 22. Curtis Banks, the Dallas Carter Jr. for Arkansas, with the tackle. You hear that name, Dallas Carter. There's several players on both teams, and it's very good reason. There's been some great teams. Marcus Grant, the wide receiver for Houston, and Curtis Banks, the right cornerback for Arkansas, both out of Dallas Carter. They're not the only ones. Great football team. 2nd down and 5. Alexander juggling it all the way, but he held on and got the first down. Pat Burris with the tackle. Craig Alexander came into the game with 18 receptions, a junior from Jacksonville, Texas.
Looks like he's trying to use the football to make a fake when he's trying to run it. Watch him catch a ball now. There's a catch. He's using the ball, kind of faking a little bit. Well, then he almost lost it. Now he gets it back in. He's trying to run an option quarterback type play.
Senior from Jacksonville. He is a nephew of ex-UH and Baltimore Colt Marshall Johnson player. There's a completed pass for big yardage out to the sideline to Verlon Brown, the junior from Forest City, Arkansas. Now the Cougars moving the ball. Now, at the very least, they've moved it out of a situation where if they have to give it up, Arkansas will have short yardage to go.
And they're back to those possession-type passes underneath the zone coverage, which all that will do will move the chains and get them down into the scoring area.
Indiana is trailing Michigan 17-0 in the second. USC 7, Arizona State 0 in the second. Cooper wide open. Another first down as they look left, go right, picked up about 13. And Darwin Ireland, as Klingler is getting very close to a 400-yard game. Remember, if he gets it, it would be his 5th, and that would tie the all-time NCAA record for a season. And he still has 4 games to play after this one. The record was tied last year by Andre Ware, one of the few records he didn't break. He tied the Jim McMahon originally set record in 1980. 14 yards needed, so he could do it on this play. First down. Not this way. Weatherspoon inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And Michael James with the tackle.
Well, he's putting on a little bit of an exhibition today. They've been held back with those injuries, but he says, I've got a few more games to go. Watch the move he makes now, cutting back. Once he gets through here, he always seems to like to hit somebody. He lowers that shoulder and hits somebody right there and tries to run over the top of him.
You know, it's very possible that Klingler will set records this year that he will have no chance of breaking next year as a senior, because as the defense improves, that ball's knocked away incomplete. As the defense improves, they may win games by bigger margins and not play him as much. Banks with the knockdown. Right now, their defense is still young, and you certainly can't assume this game is in the bank, so you got to stay with your regulars.
Well, Manny Hazard was open out there. You can see how wide open Manny Hazard was up there in the red jersey. But Curtis Banks got that hand up. He was kind of blocked high. Coach Jenkins notes to the coaches upstairs that Hazard was wide open now.
7:41 to play. Houston 45, Arkansas 28. There's been no scoring in the fourth quarter. Everything in the first 3. And again, Alexander on the wide side for big yardage and another first down. Greg Alexander.
Yeah, back to their possession type game, exploiting the zone. Just pitch and catch. Looking it over.
Has about a 10-yard pickup.
Well, it turned out, yeah, about 12 maybe, because he picked up the first down, Greg. But again, Alexander hanging around that sidelines, and that's kind of an outlet man hanging around over there for him.
Baylor leading TCU 21-13 at the half. Southwest Conference play. Many of you will see the tape delay telecast of the TCU Houston game next week. Weatherspoon down to the 5. Second down and goal. Curtis Banks from Dallas Carter, the junior cornerback, making the tackle. Weatherspoon with about 140 yards on the ground. Klingler with just under 400 yards through the air.
Perry's the 5th UH defensive back to go down with an injury this season. That's 5 of their defensive secondary.
Lofting to the corner. Tracy Good can't get to it. Incomplete.
Oh, the Fisher got knocked out at the end of the play.
But he took it like a man in very good shape.
No, he did. He really got mad at the 2 blockers.
Lloyd
Other
Dale.
umpire says they weren't trying to get you. One was blocking the other. They fell into you. He got up looking to throw the flag on somebody, saying the play was over. Yeah, now we got to adjust the microphone. It may work now. It wasn't working before. Maybe it'll work now.
27,352 in the Astrodome this afternoon. A couple thousand more than the anticipated crowd watching the Cougars and the Razorbacks.
Well, third down play. I don't think they'd like to settle for a field goal attempt here.
Here comes the blitz. Weatherspoon going to have a tough time. And he doesn't get it. He gets down to about the 2.5.
Well, Arkansas well alert to the fact that they run that screen a lot in that situation. Crowd, of course, wants them to go for the touchdown. They're going to go for the field goal. That field goal would put them up by 20 points here.
I think he just made it. What, 401? Is that what he's on? 401 or exactly 400? Exactly 400 yards.
Well, there's still 6 minutes to go in this ball game, so probably shouldn't leave any doubt at the end of it.
He's done it in 5 times in 7 games. SMU on the board against Texas 31-3 now. Texas, as Anderson, Mr. Automatic, puts through 3. And it's 48-28. The Cougars on top of the Razorbacks with 6:18 to play in the ball game. Well, Houston is just that far from claiming revenge of one of their 2 defeats last year, ending an 8-game losing streak to Arkansas, winning their 6 out of 6 in conference play and 7 out of 7 overall.
Greg, I think that field goal gives Roman Anderson the all-time career scoring record in the Southwest Conference.
And he too has another year to go. Plus
he needed
4
10
games.
points to catch up and go ahead of James Gray, Texas Tech. He had 302 going in, and my calculations are correct. I think he scored 12 points today.
Golly, if we're relying on your calculations.
There
well,
it is.
okay, I guess the stats people were right.
Math major like me.
UH's field goals 22 and 19 yards.
Boy, and he can, you know, as you said, he's got the rest of this season and all of next year to go. He's going to put some distance between him and the next person.
Houston 48, Arkansas 28. And Arkansas will get the ball. Cougars came into this game ranked 6th in the Associated Press poll, 5th by USA Today, unranked by the UPI because they are still on probation. Perry's injury apparently was to his right foot. Well, it certainly hurt by the grimace that he showed when he left the field. You hope he does not have a broken bone, but you always have to be concerned that may be the problem. Let's see the kickoff here. Roman Anderson. It's a lot of foot in it. Caldwell to the end zone. He'll try it. Bad move as he's only out to the 14-yard line.
Well, that's exactly why you hear coaches say all the time, if you catch the ball 2 or 3 yards deep in the end zone, stay back in there. You get it out to the 20. If you catch it 3 yards deep in the end zone, you have to run 23 yards before you get any positive yardage. That's, again, why coaches always say, keep it in the end zone.
We've been giving you some scores. This is the official Budweiser scoreboard. These finals around college football today. Florida State over LSU, 42-3. Miami rolling over Texas Tech, 45-3. Georgia Tech, a big win over Duke, 48-31. Other games, 31-2. Now it's 31-3. We'll update you on that one in the third. Rice trailing Texas A&M, 31-12 in the third. Baylor 14, TCU 13 in the second. make that 21-13. We'll update that one as well. The Budweiser scoreboard brought to you here on Prime Network. Oh, my. Bury me not on Wounded Knee. Kevin LeBay, the pre-med sophomore from Hampshire. He laid his 260 pounds on top of Quinn Grovey, and we almost had a new mound on the field.
Grovey said, wait a minute, that's not Burnett. He's heavier than Burnett. Boom. Team right up.
Well, another sack. And, of course, now a situation where you don't worry about him running as much, trailing by 20. You're going to get some of those.
I think that's LeBay's first sack of the year.
Now Grovey's out. Adams is in at quarterback. Fumble, and I will wait and see. The Cougars have it.
My, oh my, how many times you see that when they change quarterbacks at the very first play? Center quarterback exchange just isn't the same, and it's a fumble.
LeBay is down on the bottom along with Blunt. I guess LeBay made 2 big plays in a row. Now, he plays behind James Bevel normally, and he comes in and does a pretty good job.
Well, there's his stairs. Oh, that wasn't center quarterback exchange fumble. That's on the ball handling. Wasn't sure whether he's putting it in there to the fullback or trying to take it out to run the option. Of course, there's a wild scramble underneath there.
And the fullback wasn't sure either. That's what the problem was. Well, Houston has the ball first and goal at the 9.
Call an audible, obviously, yelling out to everybody. This could well be a running play the way he's doing all this acting.
And it is. Fumble, but it's back to Weatherspoon. Okay, pat yourself on the back. Are your arms long enough, Ed?
No, I just, whenever you see a guy over-exaggerate something, you know that he's trying to sell the defensive players that something else is going on. Whatever, that usually works that way.
5 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Right back where they start. Actually, they probably gained a half yard on that fumble. It'll officially be 2nd and goal from the 8. Incomplete. Good cover. Now we got a flag down. Shovel pass intended for Weatherspoon.
This is probably going to be roughing the quarterback against Arkansas.
Now they'll get half the distance and a new first.
This was set up to be the shovel pass. You see it going across. Now there's a toss way down. Now Banks comes in way
he
late.
took several extra steps. He didn't hit him hard, but he took several extra steps and then hit him after the ball was definitely out of his hand.
Personal foul, defense, automatic first down.
Okay, see now the microphone works. When the Fisher got knocked down, the mic came back to life.
Even with the penalty, Houston has been penalized far more times than Arkansas. Arkansas next week will play Rice in Little Rock. Houston, of course, will play TCU here.
That should be quite a battle between Rice and Arkansas next week.
Touchdown, Tracy Good. Second touchdown catch for Tracy Good. And the Cougars cracked the 50-point barrier for the second time this year. Their other 50-point game was a nationally televised game against Texas Tech.
Boy, the Arkansas defense has really given up some points in the last 4 football games.
Yeah, they've given up no fewer than 49 points in the last 4 games. And Roman Anderson automatically bangs another one through. 4 minutes and 39 seconds to play. It is Houston 55, Arkansas 28. About this total yardage story. First of all, that Houston, yes, still needs work on defense. Even though they've rolled up 563, Arkansas has 420. But you can also say, Ed, that it's when you get the yards that make the difference. As we see the touchdown pass to Good that pushed the Cougars up to that 563. It's sort of like in basketball when you score 40 points, but you score the last 15 in the fourth quarter when your team's behind. You really have to save when you get them.
That's exactly right, Bert. Agree with you 100%.
And a bring ball comes up to the 24-yard line. Ted Pardee with the tackle on that short return.
Whether there was a tackle or sit down on top of it. Short scoring there. They only had to go 8 yards, 54 seconds, 3 plays. Klingler on a 4-yard touchdown pass, but they got a big roughing the passer penalty that gave them the first down in there.
There's at least 3 of the Cougar drives that have been over and in the end zone before they almost started. That's the kind of offense they have, of course. 55-28. Adams stays in at quarterback. Smith in motion. And there's Aaron Jackson, and oh my, behind the line of scrimmage. The Cougars have Blunt in there. They have Trey Hooper in there. They're the 2 main guys that got through.
Yeah, LeBay's back in there. Guess some of their backup folks in there getting a little defensive experience. Just to toss, returns, tosses the ball. Lead blocked by the fullback, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red jerseys, and the 7th one coming into the. Of course, when you're ahead, that's the way. A little bit more fun to play that way.
Big Trey Hooper from Mineral Wells was a left tackle, track shot putter too. Now the nose tackle. In traffic, incomplete. Gary Adams intending to get the ball through a seam, and it was intended for Smith, Demetrius Smith.
Boy, excellent play by Eric Bunt. Of course, that's Grovey on the sideline. Been a long, long day for that young man. He's been playing catch-up ever since the first series of the game, and he threw the interception, went for a touchdown. Hard to play that way when you're trying to play catch-up all the time.
His opposite number, Klingler, 32 of 49, 404 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That was Klingler's total, and it's not too often either that Jack Crow will see his #1 quarterback on the bench in the closing moments of a game. But 3:45 to play. Got to see what Adams can do, get him some time. He's sacked. That's James Bevel, the defensive end.
Well, that was a quarterback draw. Thinking maybe they could possibly split the rushers from Houston coming up the middle, and the quarterback could pick up the first down, but they're going to be forced to punt again. And they haven't had a lot of success with the punting game today.
Big question with Houston is, A, can they finish the season undefeated? And B, if they do, where can they possibly finish in the national rankings? They will finish the season after December 1st when they play a game in Japan against Arizona State. All the other top teams will still be playing for a month. Parks at the 40. Well, nope, taken away. Parks wanted it. Mouton. And Mouton probably should have let him have it. He knew he was going to take that kind of punishment. And so it'll be Houston's ball at the 47.
I tell you, Houston's got a couple tough football games coming up. They've got TCU here next week, and then they've got to go to University of Texas and play up there.
No sure bet. They have manhandled the Longhorns the last 3 years, but this is, as is the case with college football, you don't have the same team every year, and that's a much better Texas team, as evidenced by their record. They've only lost once. The fact they rolled to a win again today.
Well, they obviously have got a much better defense and a much better offense.
And it's in Austin. All of those factors will make that a very, very big game. Tiandre Sanders now in at running back for Houston.
This again probably the running play the way he's doing all that acting. Nope.
Should have stayed while you're ahead, Ed. Tracy Good wide open. First down at the 25-yard line. You can't be much more open than that. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to play. Clemson 24, Wake Forest 6. Another final score.
Now Leroy True is a little shaken up on that play, and they're replacing him, getting him out of there. Jessup going back into his left tackle position where he played last year.
Tiandre Sanders, the sophomore from Corpus Christi Carroll, just in the pad. Well, toward the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Alexander with the touchdown catch. 7 touchdown passes today for
That's
Klingler.
another receiver for a touchdown.
And 6 different receivers have caught touchdown passes.
Touchdown passes of 6 different receivers, and I think he knows it. Alexander doesn't have one today. Definitely going for him. And right down the sideline, kept his foot in bounds. Wow.
61-28 with the extra point. 62-28. And it's 62-28 Houston. Fourth quarter, 2:31 to play. We'll be back. We have a score on the board, 18-17. Colorado has just taken the lead over Oklahoma in their game. 7 touchdown passes for Klingler, ties Andre Ware's record versus Rice last year. And there will be some that are wondering why he was in on that last drive with the big score, but you know that's why. The record was there, and the club had good field position. There's Weatherspoon, who was not in on the last drive, but Ted Pardee making the second consecutive stop on the special teams on the kickoff, and Arkansas will have the ball.
Well, there's his last reaction to the last touchdown.
Looks like the same reaction to the other 6.
He's pointing the sidelines to the coaches for making the call. That's what that gesture is.
Some of the defensive players now out getting a rest. These are regulars. Eric Blunt, Ryan McCoy. Kerwin Price. Nice run by Kerwin Price across the 35 to the 39-yard line. Brought down there at that point after a big gain.
Johnny Johnson's going to be a little bit unhappy himself when he sees how he missed this tackle right there. Just ran right by him. They have a little fun with that in the tape room when they look at the film, all the defensive players.
Kerwin's had a tough career. He's a junior and he's lettered a couple times. He's never been completely healthy, and that set him back from East St. Louis, Illinois. Aldridge is in at the backup spot in the strong side linebacker position. Several Cougar backups, as is the case with the Razorbacks. Price gets about a yard or two across to the 41-yard line. Nebraska 38-10 over Iowa State. Mississippi 14, Vandy 13. That's a final. Got a minute 40, and this one will be final. Iowa 56, Northwestern 7. More one-sided than this ball game. Iowa rolling over Northwestern. More than 1,000 total yards for the two teams. 45-3, Texas over SMU in the fourth. As they will have just one loss on their record, that narrow defeat. Another yard gain, that's about all. Illinois 14, Wisconsin 3, Auburn 17, Mississippi State 10 in the fourth. We said Colorado in the third. That score is now 18-17. Colorado over Oklahoma in the third.
Long ride back. Long flight back to the hills tonight.
A&M's lead over Rice is 31-12. That is now at halftime. 3rd and 8. Anderson may be able, well, he's going to be able to pass for it too. Got the first down in front of Mouton. The ball completed to Arkansas's number 28, Richard Yeager, a hardy Arkansas freshman redshirt.
Well, so much for the Arkansas winning streak over the Cougars.
8 in a row, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and of course overall it will drop to 11-6. Arkansas with the advantage. Arkansas will not be playing all the Southwest Conference teams after 2 years from now, but Houston says they want to keep this rivalry alive as Burnett, or rather that ball is caught by the tight end as he sneaks inside the defense. Number 86, Eric Browning, He's out of Fort Worth, Texas, a 6'2", 225-pounder.
Well, when they set the chains and roll the clock, there's only 3 seconds left to go in this ball game. Whether they have time to get one more player or not, we shall remain to be seen. They didn't get the playoff.
So Arkansas was threatening to put points on the board. Don't get it. The Razorbacks go down to defeat. Houston wins it by a score of 62-28, scoring 21 points in the third and 17 in each of the second and fourth quarters. Arkansas scoring none in the second and fourth quarters, and that was the difference in the ball game. The final again, 62-28, as Houston now jumps off to a 7-0 start, 6-0 in Southwest Conference play. They cannot be the champion, but they can be the unofficial champions as they're on probation. But the Cougars win it, continuing their roll. We'll be back in just a moment.